Pokémon, the ultimate trainer. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 76, Advancement. Zhang Cheng followed the usual practice and opened the system to check the situation of the opponent's Pokémon. Name, Acorn. Level 13, Gender, Female. Qualification, C Attribute, Grass Carrying Props, None. Basic Skills, Endurance, Hardening, Growth. Learning Skills, Energy Ball. Inherited Skills, Seed Machine Gun, Tornado Blade. Characteristics, Chlorophyll. Pokémon with this characteristic will have their speed greatly improved on sunny days or in strong sunshine. Note, Acorn. An acorn Pokémon looks like a tree fruit when hanging on a branch, and when it moves suddenly, it often surprises people. Acorn, with C-level qualifications, is not bad, and its level is not low. This trainer should be considered the top combat power in the Scholar Academy. Both players, take your positions, and the game begins. The referee saw that the two trainers were ready and started the game directly. Pop, use the air blade directly. Zhang Cheng launched an attack directly, wanting to end the battle as soon as possible. Acorn, let's use the whirlwind blade. Your reaction is too slow. There is a delay in using the whirlwind blade. Popo will take care of it directly. Popo gathered energy on his wings and rushed towards Acorn using the inertia of falling. The air blade directly broke Acorn's whirlwind blade, and Popo's wings hit Acorn's body mercilessly. Acorn was seriously injured by Popo's flying skill. Acorn, hold on. Let's use the most powerful energy ball. Jinwan knew that defense was useless and he had to take the initiative to attack. Popo uses Steel Wing to meet the attack. Popo was very proficient in Steel Wing. After Zhang Cheng issued the battle order, Popo quickly condensed energy and activated the Steel Wing skill. At the same time, Acorn also used his energy ball skill. Use Steel Wing to split the energy ball in half. Zhang Cheng planned to end the battle in the simplest and crudest way. The dark green energy ball rushed over with grass energy, but when it approached Popo, it was directly split into two by Steel Wing. After getting rid of the energy ball, Popo continued to rush towards Acorn Fruit, and Steel Wing's skill accurately hit Acorn Fruit. After being attacked by Steel Wing's skill, Acorn Fruit stood in pain, obviously struggling to death. Give up. I don't think there's any need to fight anymore. Doing so will only aggravate the elf's injuries, Zhang Cheng kindly reminded the other party. After a little hesitation, Jinwan chose to give up. The battle is over, and the winner is Zhang Cheng. Seeing Jinwan voluntarily give up, the referee directly announced the result of the game. The gap in strength between the two is indeed quite large. Continuing to resist will only aggravate the injuries of his own elf. It is best to do what you can. In this way, both of them advance to the second round. The second round of 40 to 20 will be held in the afternoon. Zhang Cheng and Yi Tian simply watched a few games and went directly to the cafeteria to eat. There are not many people in the cafeteria now. If we wait until the game is over before eating, with so many trainers from other schools coming today, I'm afraid we will have to wait in line in despair. After finishing lunch, the two returned to the battle site. At this time, the morning game was coming to an end. Looking at the list of the top 40, number 1 middle school and experimental high school each had 15 people, number 2 middle school had 7 people, and the scholar school had 3 people. This result was within Zhang Cheng's expectations. It was already a good result that the Scholar Academy had 3 trainers enter the second round. The final champion is likely to be born in Jiangcheng number 1 middle school and experimental high school. After the morning game, everyone rushed to the cafeteria. Zhang Cheng and Yi Tian had lunch in advance, so they took a lunch break in the rest area of the training ground, quietly waiting for the afternoon game. Time soon came to the afternoon, and the second round of eliminations began. The 40 participating trainers drew lots under the instructions of the referee. This time Zhang Cheng drew the number 4, which is not a very auspicious number, which made Zhang Cheng very disgusted. However, as long as you have enough strength, these so-called numbers are meaningless. The first match was between Hao Chengguang from number 1 middle school and a trainer from Scholar Academy. As expected, Scholar Academy lost and Hao Chengguang advanced to the third round. Hao Chengguang's strength is considered top-notch in number 1 middle school, and he is likely to win against a trainer from Scholar Academy. The first match is over, and now it is Zhang Cheng's turn. After hearing the referee calling his name, Zhang Cheng went directly to the battle stage. Zhang Cheng's opponent is also a trainer from Scholar Academy, named Gao Li. Looking at Zhang Cheng opposite, Gao Li felt a little helpless. His strength was not outstanding. He should have been lucky in the first round. He drew a trainer from his school and finally won an advance to the second round. Now that he has met this tough opponent from number 1 middle school, he is most likely doomed. The competition has just begun, and their Scholar Academy is about to be wiped out. Shaking his head, Gao Li stopped thinking about it and took out the Pokeball to prepare for the battle. Let's have a good fight, Delubi. Oh? It's Delubi? It's rare for a trainer to have a Delubi as his starting Pokemon. Zhang Cheng was a little surprised. Mosquito, come out and fight. 2 Pokemon appeared in the battlefield. Zhang Cheng simply checked Delubi's situation. Its characteristic is to attract fire, which is quite useful against fire Pokemon, but it has no effect in this battle. Its level is level 12, which is 2 levels lower than that of Mosquito. Most of its skills are fire and general skills. After understanding Delubi's data, Zhang Cheng really didn't know how to lose this game. Both sides take their positions, and the game begins. Mosquito, use water play to wet the battlefield. Zhang Cheng directly used the safest method and used water play to reduce the power of fire skills. The battlefield was filled with rain, and the power of fire skills would be greatly reduced. Delubi, let's use the spark attack. This is Delubi's best trick at the moment, and you must try it. Ignore the mosquito-scented tadpole, just use the bubble beam, Zhang Cheng commanded confidently. The mosquito-scented tadpole ignored the spark attack, condensed a large amount of foam, and smashed it directly at Delubi. Both elves were attacked by each other's skills. Under the dual weakening of playing in the water and attributes, the spark attack only made the mosquito-scented tadpole retreat 2 steps, and did not suffer any substantial damage. On the other hand, Delubi, because he did not pay attention to dodge when condensing the spark, was directly hit by the mosquito-scented tadpole's bubble beam and lost his combat ability on the spot. The game is over, and the winner Zhang Cheng advances to the 3rd round of eliminations tomorrow morning. Chapter 77 Quality Players. This is too fast. He defeated the opponent with 1 move. I heard that this is one of the strongest trainers in number 1 middle school and the favorite to win this time. The spectators watched the game in front of them and talked about it. In the battlefield, Gao Li was also a little confused. Although he knew that he would lose, he didn't expect to lose so thoroughly. This battle was a big blow to his confidence. After hearing the referee announce the result of the game, he hurriedly left the battle stage. Looking at Gao Li who was fleeing, Zhang Cheng shook his head, turned around and left the battlefield and returned to the rest area. It's so cool, he killed the opponent in 1 move. Yan praised Zhang Cheng when he saw him return triumphantly. It just happened that the attributes were restrained, plus the level was crushed, Zhang Cheng explained simply. Those are not important, we only look at the results, Yan retorted. Don't think about these for now, you should prepare for your own game well, Zhang Cheng smiled. Yan's opponent in this round is a trainer from experimental high school, who is still very strong. Several rounds of battles ended. During these matches, Zhang Cheng also discovered that Zhang Tao from experimental high school, the favorite candidate for the championship, used the Dragon-type Pokemon Fang. Dragon-type Pokemon are indeed powerful. Even in the larval stage, they still easily defeated their opponents and won the game. Soon it was Yan's game. After both sides were ready, the game started directly. Go, Butterfree, Pagona, it's your turn to perform. The opponent was a trainer who used Pagona, named Li Hang. The trainers of experimental high school do have higher quality Pokemon with many of the 3 starter Pokémons. On the other hand, there are only a handful of trainers at Scholar Academy who have the 3 starter Pokémons. Zhang Cheng opened the system to check the information of this Pokemon. Name, Pokemon, level 13, gender, male qualification, B attribute, water carrying props, none basic skills, slap, call, bubble, play with water learning skills, waterfall climbing inherited skills, frozen wind, water ring, snoring characteristics, rush. This characteristic will be triggered when the health value is too low, and the power of water attributed skills will be greatly increased. Notes, Pokemon, a penguin Pokemon, is born with a proud personality, and the long hair on its body can keep out the cold. This Pokemon is very good, with high damage learning skills, high qualifications, and a high level. For Tian, this should be a tough battle. Both sides are ready, the game starts now. Pokémon, Frozen Wind. Li Hang took the lead and attacked with an ice skill that was extremely effective against the flying-type Butterfree. Butterfree, hold on. Yeon did not intend to let Butterfree try to dodge. If it did not dodge, it would be very disadvantageous to Butterfree to be attacked by ice skills. Using the hold skill to block was the safest way. A large amount of ice and snow hit the barrier in front of Butterfree, and there was no way to break through the defense of the hold skill. If you have the ability, you can just hide in it. Pokémon uses the water ring. Seeing that the attack was ineffective, Li Hang directly used skills to strengthen his elves and forced Butterfree to attack mainly. Butterfree, use the wind attack, When Pokémon saw the whirlwind coming, he moved a few steps to the right and easily avoided it. Seeing Pokémon avoid the whirlwind, Li Hang was relieved. If Pokémon didn't avoid it, he would be slapped in the face. Brother, you are here to make fun of me, and with your limited strength, I advise you to surrender voluntarily. Li Hang continued to pretend to be X. It's too early for you to be happy. Don't blame me if your face hurts later, Yeon said with a hooked mouth. Pokémon, Waterfall attack. Li Hang chose to prove himself with actual actions. Unfortunately, Pokémon did not succeed in using the waterfall, but staggered to the ground and fell into a sleeping state. What? Li Hang was shocked. Pokémon, wake up quickly. What's going on? Bardiai, use the air blade. The air blade quickly condensed and hit Pokémon's body accurately. Pokémon was hurt and woke up at the same time. Butterfree, continue to use the paralysis powder. Pokémon, retreat quickly and avoid the powder attack. Li Hang hurriedly commanded Pokémon who had woken up. Hearing the trainer's command, Pokémon also hurriedly dodged backwards. It's useless. Do you think it's so easy to dodge? Yeon said with disdain. Butterfree, blow the wind. Butterfree condensed two whirlwinds again, which flew forward and blew the paralysis powder onto Pokémon. Pokémon had just come out of sleep and now inhaled the paralysis powder and entered a paralyzed state. You are shameless. Li Hang's mentality was a little broken. How could he play this? Don't complain if you are a waste. Butterfree uses insect bites, Yeon said to Li Hang. Pokémon, use freezing wind to attack it. Pokémon began to condense ice energy, but was affected by the paralysis effect and failed to use the skill. Without the influence of the freezing wind, Butterfree quickly came to Pokémon's side, and the insect bite skill was activated. Butterfree opened its mouth and bit Pokémon's body fiercely. Pokémon screamed in particular after being attacked by insect bites, and soon he could not bear the double torture of paralysis and insect bites, and fainted directly, losing his ability to fight. Looking at Pokémon lying on the ground, Li Hang couldn't accept it. Impossible. This is impossible. How could I lose? You were so proud just now you are slapped in the face, Yeon taunted mercilessly. The game is over, the winner is Yeon, and he will advance to the third round. The referee's cold voice also sounded at this time. Referee, I want to report, he is fouling, he is cheating. Li Hang saw the referee speak, and hurriedly said. The referee glanced at Li Hang and said nothing. Referee, you have to make the decision for me, this kid is cheating. Li Hang saw that the referee was unmoved, and continued to exaggerate. When the referee heard what Li Hang said, he looked at him as if he was an idiot and said, if you continue to interfere with a game like this, you will bear the consequences yourself. Seeing this, Li Hang had no choice but to give up and walked off the battlefield in shame. Chapter 78, Intense Battle. After Yeon's game, the two left the battlefield directly. There were still a few more games to come, but the two had no interest in watching them. Compared to watching the games, eating was more important. After the two walked out of the training ground, they went to the school cafeteria to get food together. Your powder move today was too fierce, and it broke the opponent's mentality, Zhang Cheng said while eating. Oh, it's because the guy's psychological quality is too poor. He was just hit by hypnotic powder and paralysis powder. Is it that serious? Yeon said Versailles. When you get hit, you will know how uncomfortable it is, Zhang Cheng said with a smile. The two chatted casually, and after eating, they separated and went back to the dormitory to rest. After returning, Zhang Cheng released the elves and took out energy blocks to give them. Everyone's performance today is very good. There will be a game tomorrow. Keep it up, Zhang Cheng encouraged the elves. Mosquito Babo, both elves nodded, indicating that they were fine. Mealy Sheep, who was chewing an energy cube, was a little confused after hearing Zhang Cheng's words. It seemed that he didn't play a game today. Zhang Cheng looked at the confused mealy sheep and said, "Little guy, you are too young now. After a while, when your level is high, you can play in the game like them." Mealy sheep nodded and continued to eat his energy cube. The next morning, the third round of the game was in progress. After the elimination of the first 2 rounds, only 20 trainers remained in the third round today. This is also the last round of eliminations in this college league. The winner will enter the finals. The rules of the finals are that the 10 trainers who advance will play in a round-robin battle on rank according to the number of wins. After winning this round, you can get the qualification to receive the 3 starter Pokémons. Haha, Yian said excitedly. Just keep steady. It's no problem to enter the top 10 with our strength. Zhang Cheng also wanted a 3 starter Pokémon. The 20 contestants came on stage and took turns to draw lots under the instructions of the referee. Zhang Cheng drew the number 7, and Yian drew the number 6. Zhang Cheng was relieved when he saw the number in Yian's hand. The result he feared most was that he and Yian would fight against each other, and one of them would lose the chance to get the 3 starters. Zhang Cheng's opponent was the number 8, a trainer from experimental high school. Yian's opponent, the number 5, was the last one from the Scholar Academy. The 2 of them waited silently for their matches in the preparation area. After 2 matches, it was finally Yian's turn to compete. Under the instructions of the referee, Yian came to the battle site. The opponent who was walking towards him was a short-haired girl, who was also the only trainer from the Scholar Academy who advanced to the third round. The girl's name was Zhang Zhu, and she was also the strongest trainer in the 3rd year of the Scholar Academy. "Squirtle, come out and fight." Zhang Zhu released her Pokémon directly when she came on the stage, without saying any nonsense. Seeing this, Yian had no intention of talking, and directly released the Pokémon to fight. "Come out, Butterfree." Zhang Cheng opened the system and checked the information of this Squirtle. Name: Squirtle, level 13, gender, female, qualification, B attribute, water carrying props, none, basic skills, impact, shaking tail, retracting into shell, water gun, foam learning skills, rock block inherited skills, saltwater, water jet, black fog characteristics, torrent. When the health value is reduced to a certain level, the power of water skills will be improved. Note: Squirtle, a small turtle Pokémon, will hide in the turtle shell to protect itself. When the opponent has a flaw, it will immediately spray water to fight back. This Squirtle actually learned a rock block. If used properly, it may kill Butterfree in seconds. Both sides take their positions, and the game starts now. Seeing that both of them released their Pokémon, the referee announced the start of the game. Squirtle, saltwater attack, Jenny. Squirtle got into position and spit out a large amount of salt water from his mouth, attacking Butterfree in the sky. Butterfree, hold on. Yian chose to block the attack of salt water first, and then take follow-up actions. Zhang Zhu saw that her attack could not break through Butterfree's defense, and decisively gave up the attack. Squirtle, use the shell. Squirtle immediately retracted its head and limbs to improve its defense. Butterfree, use telekinesis to knock Squirtle out. Squirtle, water jet, Zhang Zhu commanded calmly. Water jet is a preemptive skill, and the speed is very fast. Before the air blade hits, the water jet hits Butterfree first. Attacked by the water jet, Butterfree quickly retreated and gave up the attack. Hit by the water jet, Butterfree was also injured to a certain extent. Butterfree, wind-up trick. Do you still want to add powder to the whirlwind to attack? Unfortunately, it doesn't work anymore, Zhang Zhu said as she watched Yian's actions. Yesterday, she witnessed Yian's point-to-point battle and already knew Butterfree's routine. You think too much? This time it's just a simple wind-up skill, Yian said with his hands spread out. Zhang Zhu ignored Yian and focused on commanding Squirtle to dodge to prevent inhalation of hypnotic powder. In fact, Yian really didn't add hypnotic powder to the wind-up skill because he knew that his moves were already known to others. This routine can only be used once to catch the opponent off guard. If the opponent is prepared in advance, it is difficult to succeed. Squirtle stayed away from the attack range of the whirlwind, and only prepared to continue the attack after the whirlwind completely dissipated. Squirtle, water jet, Butterfree, continue to use wind rise. Seeing Yian use the wind rise attack again, Zhang Zhu hesitated for a moment and then asked Squirtle to stop attacking and dodge backwards. This time, Zhang Zhu observed carefully and found that Butterfree really did not mix powder in the whirlwind. Thinking of this, Zhang Zhu was a little angry that he was fooled by the opponent. Squirtle, Rock Block. Zhang Zhu directly used his trump card, the Rock Block that can cause high damage to flying Pokémon. Chapter 79 Angry Psyduck. Squirtle gathered energy and summoned a large number of rocks to fall from the sky. The center of the rocks was where Butterfree was. This Squirtle actually knows the skill of Rock Block, the students who were watching started to discuss. Obviously, they didn't expect that there would be a trainer who would let Squirtle learn rock-type skills. Yiyan was also a little confused when he saw Squirtle use Rock Block. Can Squirtle really use this skill? Butterfree, this time we use Wind. Butterfree once again gathered a whirlwind and attacked Squirtle. Squirtle, use Water Gun to disperse the whirlwind. Zhang Zhu guessed that this time Yiyan saw that it was another feint, so he directly chose to let Squirtle gather and disperse the whirlwind on the spot. At the same time as the whirlwind was released, Rock Block also fell on Butterfree. Butterfree was hit by the rocks and fell to the ground, suffering serious injuries. Zhang Zhu looked at Butterfree, who was in a very poor state, and was also ready to continue attacking. Squirtle uses Saltwater Attack. Saltwater attacks have a better effect on seriously injured Pokémon. If this Saltwater Attack hits, it will directly defeat Butterfree. Genichi Squirtle, who was about to use the Saltwater skill, suddenly fell to the ground and fell asleep. What's wrong with you, Squirtle? Zhang Zhu looked at the fallen Squirtle and said anxiously. Of course, it was hit by Butterfree's hypnotic powder. Yiyan's voice sounded. Butterfree, use the Air Blade. Butterfree condensed energy on its wings and attacked the sleeping Squirtle. The Air Blade hit accurately and Squirtle was also seriously injured. Use telekinesis to attack and get rid of Squirtle. Yiyan issued the last order. Butterfree condensed a large amount of psychic energy all over his body, lifted Squirtle directly into the air, and threw it to the ground fiercely. Squirtle, who had just woken up, was dizzy and fainted on the ground, losing his ability to fight. Squirtle has lost his ability to fight, and the winner Yiyan advances to the finals. The referee's voice sounded, confirming the outcome of the game. I was too careless. I should have been on guard against Butterfree's hypnotic powder. Zhang Zhu took out the Pokeball and took back Squirtle. Squirtle, you did a great job. Have a good rest. After doing all this, Zhang Zhu walked directly off the competition venue. Yiyan also took back Butterfree and returned to the preparation area. Good plan, Zhang Cheng praised Yiyan as he walked over. It's no big deal. I finally got the 3 starter Pokémons. I wonder when I can go to the breeding house to get them, Yiyan said happily. I should be able to go after the game is over. Don't worry. The official league will definitely keep its word. Zhang Cheng stood up and said, it's my turn to compete. I'll talk about it later. Okay, come on, let's go to the breeding house to get the 3 starter Pokémons together. Zhang Cheng walked onto the competition venue. His opponent in this game was Yan Qing from Experimental High School, a trainer who used Psyduck. I heard that you are the strongest trainer in Jiangcheng No. 1 Middle School, Yan Qing asked with disdain when he saw Zhang Cheng coming to the competition venue. I don't dare to call myself the strongest, but it's enough to deal with you, Zhang Cheng said lightly. You are so arrogant. Let me tell you how to be low-key. Yan Qing threw out his Pokeball directly. Psyduck, teach him a lesson. Mosquito repellent, prepare for battle. With a referee's order, the game began. Zhang Cheng opened the system to check the information of this Psyduck. Name, Psyduck, level 14, gender, male qualification, B attribute, water carrying props, none basic skills, catch, play with water, shake tail, water gun, telekinesis, grab randomly learning skills, meditation inherited skills, illusionary ray, do it again, mud bomb characteristics, moisture, by getting the surrounding wet, no one can use self-destruction and big explosion moves. Note, Psyduck, a Pokemon by the water, has magical powers and can use colorful tricks. Psyduck is a Pokemon that has headaches at any time. This Psyduck can use many skills of various attributes, including ground, psychic, general and water skills, and has a very wide range of attack. However, the water type is only restrained by the grass type and the electric type, and Psyduck does not use these 2 attributes of moves. Psyduck, Illusion Beam, Mosquito, Continuous Slaps, Psyduck condensed red psychic energy, transformed into a beam and shot at Mosquito. Mosquito endured the attack of Illusion Beam, came in front of Psyduck, and used Continuous Slaps. 1-2-5 times. Mosquito hit Siddiq 5 times in a row, and Siddiq's head was dazed and its whole face was bigger. Seeing his Siddiq being beaten like this, Yan Qing was also very angry. Siddiq, cheer up, teach it a lesson, mud bomb, cool. Siddiq was very angry after being slapped several times, and spit out a lot of mud bombs from its mouth. Mosquito, foam beam, mosquito. Mosquito spit out a lot of foam from its mouth, and the foam formed a beam, which collided with a mud bomb flying over. A lot of smoke came out of the collision, and the attacks of the two Pokemon were offset. Siddiq, use meditation, Mosquito, Eye of the Heart. Seeing that Siddiq wanted to improve its special attack and special defense through meditation, Zhang Cheng took this opportunity to let Mosquito use the Eye of the Heart to ensure the hit rate of the next attack. Both times, the Pokemon completed its own enhancement. Siddiq's special attack and special defense were improved, and Mosquito's next attack was sure to hit. Very good, Siddiq, use Illusion Beam again, Hypnosis. Zhang Cheng decisively chose to use Hypnosis. This time, Siddiq had no time to dodge. With the blessing of the Eye of the Heart, Hypnosis quickly and accurately hit Siddiq, and Siddiq fell into a sleeping state. What? How can Hypnosis be so fast? Yan Qing was just about to let Siddiq dodge Hypnosis, but before he could say anything, Siddiq was hypnotized directly. Use the Chain Slap again. Since Siddiq's special defense has been improved, he will use the Chain Slap to attack. Mosquito came to Siddiq skillfully and stretched out his tail to greet Siddiq. After 5 consecutive hits, Siddiq woke up from the severe pain. Yan Qing was so angry that he almost had a brain hemorrhage when he saw his Siddiq being slapped like crazy. Siddiq, use random scratching to scratch the face of the mosquito repellent, Yan Qing said fiercely. The angry Siddiq rushed towards the mosquito repellent with its teeth and claws bared. Use water gun to repel it, Zhang Cheng calmly commanded the Siddiq that rushed over without thinking. Chapter 80 Advancement to the Finals. The tadpole used a water gun to attack and directly repelled the rushing Siddiq. This guy has now lost his mind. After using meditation to strengthen his special attack, he plans to use physical attack skills to attack. Looking at the situation in front of him, Zhang Cheng thought that there was no suspense about the outcome. The tadpole came forward and used a series of slaps. Mosquito. The tadpole quickly came to Siddiq's side and stretched out his tail to launch a series of slaps. Siddiq, get out of the way. Yan Qing planned to let Siddiq use the divine skill. Unfortunately, Siddiq did not succeed and was directly slapped by the tadpole. This time, Siddiq fainted on the ground after being slapped twice, with little stars on his head, and lost his ability to fight. The tadpole also reached level 15 after the battle and learned the skill of praying for rain. After learning this skill, the effect of the rainy day team has also been reflected a little bit. In future battles, Zhang Cheng can use the skill of praying for rain to trigger the tadpole's leisurely and free characteristics, and the speed will double in rainy weather. This skill has greatly improved the combat capability of the mosquito repellent tadpole. The game is over, and the winner Zhang Cheng will advance to tomorrow's finals. Seeing that the winner had been decided, the audience began to discuss, this Siddiq is too miserable, his face was slapped. I think that Siddiq's face hurts more than the trainer's. It was slapped in the face at the speed of light, and it was so arrogant just now. It seems that it is just a paper tiger. Hey, what do you mean, kid? You dare to point fingers at the trainer of our experimental high school? Listening to the result announced by the referee, Yan Qing felt that his face hurt as much as Siddiq. After taking back Siddiq, Yan Qing hurriedly fled the battlefield. He felt very tortured to stay here for one more second. After winning this game, Zhang Cheng also obtained the qualification to receive the 3 starter Pokemon. After the game, Zhang Cheng also returned to the preparation area. Okay, that guy just now was too arrogant. A good lesson, Yi Yan said happily as he watched Zhang Cheng enter the finals. I've met this kind of guy a lot, I'm used to it. Zhang Cheng looked at the next game that was about to start, feeling uninterested, and turned to Yi Yan and asked, do you still want to watch the next game? I don't think it's interesting. Yi Yan thought for a while and said, no, I've already advanced to the finals and got a place in the 3 major families, so there's no need to know about the other people's situation. Let's go eat first. The two agreed and left the battle site directly and went to the cafeteria to eat lunch. Because the training ground was occupied, the two found an open space in the afternoon to continue training the elves. The two did not fight against each other this afternoon, because it was not in the training ground, so it was not convenient to fight, and there was not enough space to perform. The two trained the elves' proficiency and skills together. Zhang Cheng also took this opportunity to let the mosquito-repellent tadpole practice the rain-seeking skill he had just learned. Mosquito-repellent tadpole, use the rain-seeking skill. Zhang Cheng gave instructions to the mosquito-repellent tadpole. Mosquito-repellent. The mosquito-repellent tadpole condensed a large amount of water energy and flew towards the sky. Soon, a light rain fell in the space where the mosquito-repellent tadpole was. At present, the rain-seeking skill of the mosquito-repellent tadpole can only create light rain in a small area. With the increase of proficiency, the range and rainfall of the rain-seeking skill should be improved. The mosquito-repellent tadpole is very good. The rain-seeking skill has such a good effect for the first time. Zhang Cheng looked at the performance of the mosquito-repellent tadpole and praised it. Mosquito hearing the trainer's praise for himself, the mosquito-repellent tadpole was also very happy. In the following time, Zhang Cheng also released Pidgeot and Merely to let them practice their skills. Although the ranking will be divided in tomorrow's competition, the final rewards are the same. So the two of them have no pursuit, just plan to improve the combat experience of the elves through tomorrow's battle. If it weren't for the competition to improve the elves, Zhang Cheng and Yi Yan might directly choose to give up the game. Both of them are realistic and have no interest in things that have no benefits. The two trained until the evening, then let the elves rest, and then took out food to give to the elves as a reward. Looking at the current energy blocks, the elves also had bright eyes, and felt that the afternoon training was not so hard. After finishing the elves' dinner, the two of them went to the cafeteria to eat some simple food, and then returned to their respective dormitories. Zhang Cheng was no longer stressed after getting the qualification to obtain the three great elves. Although he was very confident that he would get this quota, he must still be a little stressed because the result was not out. After returning, the first thing Zhang Cheng did was to go to Mimedian to take a hot bath, sweeping away all the fatigue in his body. After taking a bath, Zhang Cheng found that the elves had all fallen asleep. Everyone was really exhausted in the past 2 days. Zhang Cheng came to the bed carefully, trying not to make any noise to avoid disturbing the resting elves. After lying in bed, Zhang Cheng turned his phone to silent mode, and then sent a message to Bai Yuling. Sister, what have you been doing in the past 2 days? Didn't you come to watch the game? Zhang Cheng asked the doubts in his heart. He hadn't seen Bai Yuling since the game started. After waiting for a while and not receiving a response, Zhang Cheng was about to turn off his phone and go to sleep. At this moment, a message suddenly popped up on the top of the screen. Sister is not in school now. She has something urgent to do, so she went out. How is the competition going? Did you get a place? Seeing Bai Yuling click on the reply, Zhang Cheng also typed and said, this is not a small matter for me. I have already made the top 10 this morning. Brother is the best, haha. Sister will be back in 2 days. Rest early and have a good competition tomorrow. Zhang Cheng planned to ask Bai Yuling what she said she was going to do, but after thinking about it, he gave up the idea. Since Bai Yuling didn't want to say, it would be useless to ask her. It would be better to focus on tomorrow's competition first. After shaking his head, Zhang Cheng and Bai Yuling said goodnight to each other and went to sleep directly. Bai Yuling looked at the chat box in front of her, not knowing what she was thinking. After thinking for a while, she felt irritated again. And the place where Bai Yuling is now is the town where Zhang Cheng had been training before. Bai Yuling came to the vicinity of Mulan Forest. Her goal this time is an elf egg deep in the forest. Tomorrow, I should be able to get it successfully, Bai Yuling muttered to herself. After calming down, Bai Yuling closed her eyes and fell asleep. Chapter 81 Finals in progress. The next morning, the finals came as scheduled. Led by the referee, the 10 participating trainers came to the center of the battlefield. Among the 10 contestants, Zhang Cheng No. 1 Middle School and Experimental High School each had 4 trainers, and Zhang Cheng No. 2 Middle School had 2 trainers in the top 10, and the Scholar Academy was completely wiped out. Among the 4 trainers who advanced from No. 1 Middle School, in addition to Zhang Cheng and Yan, there were Hao Chengguang and another trainer Xiaomu who used Bulbasaur. The finals will be a round-robin tournament. Everyone needs to play against the other 9 contestants. The winner will get points. If the points are the same, the ranking will be based on the win-loss relationship. The referee began to explain the rules of the game to the 10 participating trainers. Because it is a round-robin tournament, there is no need to draw lots. After the referee explained the competition system, he asked everyone to return to the preparation area to rest first, and then go on stage to compete according to the instructions later. Because it is a round-robin tournament, there will be a lot of games. In order to quickly determine the winner, multiple games will be held at the same time. Zhang Cheng came to the corresponding battle side under the instructions of the referee. The first person he met was Xiaomi Yu, the Bulbasaur trainer from his school. Zhang Cheng directly sent out Pidgeot to fight, and quickly defeated the opponent's Bulbasaur by taking advantage of the flying system. After the battles in the past 2 days, Pidgeot has also reached level 15. Next, Zhang Cheng fought against 2 trainers from number 2 middle school in succession, and Zhang Cheng won both. So far, Zhang Cheng's record is 3 wins in 3 games. On the other side, Yiyan has also won 2 games in a row. The third game was against Zhang Tao, the son of the mayor. And this battle also attracted the attention of the audience. Who will be better in the confrontation between Butterfree and Fang? When Zhang Cheng won the third game and returned to the remarks area to watch the game, the battle between Yiyan and Zhang Tao was entering a white-hot stage. Butterfree, Poison Powder Attack, Fang, Dragon's Fury. Fang risked being poisoned and forced a Dragon's Fury to hit Butterfree. After being attacked by the Dragon's Fury, Butterfree was seriously injured and was about to lose her ability to fight. The opposite side, Yaya, was not much better. She was just hit by Butterfree's hypnotic powder and was also seriously injured. The risk of Yaya forcibly using the Dragon's Fury was that she would be hit by the poison powder. Now Yaya was in a poisoned state. After being poisoned, Yaya's face began to turn purple and her health was slowly draining away. We must fight quickly. If we delay any longer, Yaya might be poisoned to death. Zhang Tao gritted his teeth and commanded, Yaya, use the double slash. Butterfree, hold on. Yaya's double slash hit Butterfree's hold skill and did not cause any effect. At the same time, Yaya's condition was getting worse and worse, and her health was being consumed by the poison state. I don't believe that I can't break your hold, Yaya. Use the Dragon's Fury. Yaya desperately gathered the dragon energy and prepared to use the Dragon's Fury. However, due to the influence of the poisoning state and the large amount of physical energy consumed in the battle, Yaya's Dragon Fury failed to be used. The poison took effect again, and after a little persistence, Yaya lost her ability to fight. Seeing Zhang Tao's Yaya being defeated, the onlookers began to discuss, why haven't I heard of this Yiyan before? He is so powerful. It seems that the champion of this competition is likely to be this Yiyan. You can't say that. Zhang Cheng from number 1 middle school is also a strong contender for the championship. It is still unknown who will win. Seeing Yaya lose her ability to fight, the referee was also a little surprised. Yaya loses her ability to fight. Yiyan wins. You are very strong, but I believe I will surpass you soon, Zhang Tao said confidently. He did not take the victory or defeat of a battle too seriously. He knew that his dragon-type elves would become stronger and stronger. It was just a matter of time. As long as you are happy. After Yiyan finished speaking, he walked off the battlefield. He had no interest in listening to the words of his defeated opponent. So far, the morning competition has ended. Each contestant has 2 games in the afternoon, and the remaining 5 games will be held tomorrow. Dragon-type Pokémons are just like this. I thought they were so powerful, Yiyan said to Zhang Cheng with disdain on his way to the cafeteria. Yo-Yo was indeed weak before it evolved, but that doesn't mean that Dragon-type Pokémons are weak. Zhang Cheng was worried that Yiyan was too arrogant, and then said, the power of Dragon-type Pokémons is unquestionable. Don't underestimate Dragon-type Pokémons in battle. Listening to Zhang Cheng's words, Yiyan thought about it. He really shouldn't be proud and complacent because of the victory of a battle. There are always people better than you. It's right to keep a sense of awe. After the 2 finished lunch, they returned to the preparation area of the training ground and waited for the start of the afternoon game. In the afternoon, Zhang Cheng still didn't meet a strong opponent. He played against 2 trainers with relatively low strength in experimental high school. Zhang Cheng let Mosquito, Tadpole and Popo take turns to fight and directly won the 2 games. Yiyan's afternoon game was also very smooth. In the second game, he played against Hao Changgong's Nuanunpig. After a series of quality moves, he also stabilized the winning trend. At the end of the day's competition, Zhang Cheng and Yiyan both had 5 wins and 5 points in 5 games. Zhang Tao had 4 points. Except for the loss to Yiyan, his record was also undefeated. Tomorrow's battle will be challenging. We have to fight Zhang Tao and you, Zhang Cheng said to Yiyan with a smile. I won't show mercy tomorrow. We will have a good fight then, Yi Yan was also looking forward to tomorrow's battle. After the game, he didn't stop for 2 days. He went directly to the cafeteria to eat and then returned to the dormitory to rest. There is another game tomorrow. The elves have fought for a day, so let them rest well at night to restore their physical strength and energy. Zhang Cheng also spoiled these little guys like little ancestors, giving them energy blocks and massages, and serving the elves comfortably. The elves also like the game more and more, because they can enjoy the highest treatment during the game. After settling the elves, Zhang Cheng began to wash up. After washing up, he lay on the bed and swiped his phone. Looking at the latest progress of the crystal stone, Zhang Cheng looked through a lot of information and found that there was nothing valuable. Most of them were headlines. It seems that the research progress of those elf experts is not as fast as he imagined. Mega evolution may not be popularized until after the college entrance examination. Thinking of this, Zhang Cheng no longer thought about it. The first task is to improve his own strength. Strong strength is the hard truth. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 82 Continuous Battle. In the morning, with the sound of the alarm, a new day began. Today is the second day of the finals. After today's battle, the final champion will be decided. Zhang Cheng took the elves to finish breakfast and then came to the training ground. I have to say that it feels good to have a breakfast occasionally. After breakfast, Zhang Cheng now feels full of strength. After waiting in the preparation area for a while, the referee and staff were all there and began to arrange today's schedule. Zhang Cheng's opponent in the first game was Hao Chenggong. Since losing to Zhang Cheng last time, Hao Chenggong has worked harder and hopes to defeat Zhang Cheng one day. I won't lose again this time. Come on, let's have a good fight. Hao Chenggong walked onto the battlefield and said to Zhang Cheng passionately. I still say that. I'm always here. Zhang Cheng threw his elf ball. Mosquito coil tadpole, get ready to fight. Nguyen Pig, win it back for me this time. The two elves entered the combat state when they appeared, and were ready to attack at any time. Under the command of the referee, the game began. Nguyen Pig, use station pressure. Hao Chenggong used Nguyen Pig's signature skill right from the start. The station pressure skill was activated, and Nguyen Pig's entire fat body smashed towards the mosquito-repellent tadpole at an extremely fast speed. Mosquito-repellent tadpole, just avoid it, Zhang Cheng instructed casually. The mosquito-repellent tadpole quickly flashed to distance, and Nguyen Pig missed. Although your Nguyen Pig's speed has increased a lot, it is unrealistic to use station pressure to hit the mosquito-repellent tadpole directly. Seeing that Nguyen Pig's station pressure didn't hit, Hao Chenggong's face was a little ugly. He had specially trained Nguyen Pig's station pressure skill, and the speed was already very fast, but it was still difficult to hit. Mosquito-repellent tadpole, bubble beam, mosquito. The mosquito-repellent tadpole condensed a large amount of foam, and the foam formed a beam that hit the body of Nguyen Pig. Under the attack of the water skill, Nguyen Pig was in great pain and was directly repelled several meters away. Warm up, Nguyen Pig, use the energy storing flame attack to increase your speed. Eye of the heart, Nguyen Pig, rush up and interrupt the heart eye of the mosquito-repellent tadpole. Hao Chenggong knew the horror of the heart eye, and immediately commanded Nguyen Pig to attack. Unfortunately, Nguyen Pig was still a step too late. When approaching the mosquito-repellent tadpole, the heart eye had been successfully used, and the energy storing flame attack hit the mosquito-repellent tadpole, but it was only slightly injured. Mosquito-repellent tadpole, hypnosis. After taking a hard hit of the energy storing flame attack, Zhang Cheng directly let the mosquito-repellent tadpole use hypnosis. Hypnosis hit accurately under the effect of the heart eye, and Nguyen Pig fell into a sleeping state. Wake up, Nguyen Pig. Hao Chenggong began the classic physical awakening method, trying to wake up Nguyen Pig before the mosquito-repellent tadpole's next attack. Unfortunately, his voice was not loud enough, and no matter how he shouted, Nguyen Pig showed no signs of waking up. Mosquito-scented tadpole, use the bubble beam again to take it away. Mosquito Mo. Nguyen Pig, you are already great. Hao Chenggong said softly to the Pokeball after taking back Nguyen Pig. Seeing that the battle was over, Zhang Cheng also took back the mosquito coil tadpole and prepared to leave the battlefield. At this moment, Hao Changgong suddenly said to Zhang Cheng, I will not give up. I believe that through hard work, I will defeat you one day. Zhang Cheng said without looking back, I am waiting for that day to come. After that, he disappeared from Hao Changgong's sight. After returning to the preparation area for a short rest, there were 2 more battles waiting for Zhang Cheng. In the next 2 games, he did not meet Yuan and Zhang Tao, and both won the games easily. After finishing the morning game, Zhang Cheng sent the Pokémons to the treatment room to recover. In the afternoon, he only had the last 2 games left, and his opponents were undoubtedly Yuan and Zhang Tao, the only 2 people he had never played against. The afternoon games will be the most challenging 2 games, and Zhang Cheng must ensure that the Pokémons are in the best condition to fight. After settling the Pokémons, Zhang Cheng and Yuan went to the cafeteria to eat together. We will meet in the afternoon, but I don't know if it will be the first or second game, Yuan said thinking about the afternoon game. It doesn't matter which game it is, we have to fight back. Let's do our best this afternoon. The afternoon game was on schedule. Under the guidance of the referee, he came to the battlefield. Zhang Tao was walking towards him. Zhang Tao looked at Zhang Cheng in front of him and said, I heard that you are stronger than the one yesterday. I want to learn from you. Zhang Tao was talking about Yuan. He had already learned about Zhang Cheng's situation before the game started, and he also knew that he had defeated Yuan before. Let's start the battle directly. Zhang Cheng felt that there was nothing to talk about with him. He wanted to finish the battle as soon as possible and go home. Okay, Zhang Tao entered the combat state. Come out, yeah, Mosquito repellent, get ready for battle. Both of them released their elves to fight. Then Zhang Cheng opened the system to check Ya's data. Zhang Cheng opened the system and checked the information of this Ya. Name, Ya, level 15, gender, male qualification, B+ attribute, dragon carrying items, sharp fangs, sharp teeth. After carrying, there is a chance that the opponent will flinch when the attack hits. Basic skills, grab, stare, malicious pursuit, dragon's fury, double slash learning skills, sword dance inherited skills, whirlwind blade, hold on, reckless characteristic, fighting spirit. When facing opponents of the same gender, the fighting spirit will be ignited and become stronger, and when facing Pokemon of different genders, it will become weaker. Note, yeah, a fang Pokemon will use its fangs to mark its territory on trees, and the fangs can grow again even if they fall off. Chapter 83, Falling into the Headwind. This Ya's characteristic is fighting spirit. Both he and his own mosquito coil tadpole are male, so Ya's skills will be much more powerful. However, Yuan's Butterfree is female, so her ability will be reduced. If it weren't for this characteristic, Yuan might have lost. Through the system, Zhang Cheng also found that Ya actually carried the prop Sharp Fang. As expected of the mayor's son, his family is rich. Not only did he get a dragon-type elf, but he also has good props. However, Zhang Cheng is never afraid of his opponent carrying props. With the Eye of Perspective and the Thief skill, he can directly use the props for himself. Under the command of the referee, the game begins. Mosquito Coil Tadpole, pray for rain. Mosquito. The mosquito coil tadpole condensed a large amount of water elements, forming rainy weather in the battlefield. A trick to change the weather, yeah, use the dragon's fury. Yeah, condensed the dragon-type energy, forming a giant dragon-shaped energy that hit the mosquito coil tadpole. Mosquito repellent tadpole, get out of the way. Hearing Zhang Cheng's command, the mosquito repellent tadpole's body was shiny and it quickly dodged the dragon's wrath. In rainy weather, the mosquito repellent tadpole's characteristic of swimming freely was activated, and its speed was greatly improved. It easily avoided Ya's attack. This mosquito repellent tadpole turned out to have a hidden characteristic of swimming freely. No wonder it can easily avoid Ya's attack. The experienced audience in the audience said in surprise. Seeing the mosquito repellent tadpole easily avoiding his attack, Zhang Tao also knew the characteristics of the mosquito repellent tadpole. Yeah, use sword dance. Zhang Tao's strategy was to strengthen the elf's abilities first and wait until the rainy weather ended before launching an attack. Zhang Cheng naturally saw through Zhang Tao's little thoughts at a glance. Mosquito repellent tadpole, hypnosis. Looking at the hypnotic sound waves flying over, Zhang Tao had no choice but to let Ya stop the sword dance and dodge. Eye of Heart. With a blessing of rainy weather, the speed of using skills of the mosquito-scented tadpole has also been improved. If the Eye of Heart is used quickly, the hit rate of the next skill will be guaranteed. Zhang Tao, who was about to attack to interrupt the eye of heart of the mosquito-scented tadpole, was also a little stunned. Is the speed of using skills so fast? Yeah, use the double slash quickly. Don't give the mosquito-scented tadpole the opportunity to release hypnosis. Yo quickly approached the mosquito-scented tadpole, with huge energy condensed on his arms, ready to attack at any time. Zhang Cheng knew that the mosquito-scented tadpole would definitely use hypnosis next, and this hypnosis was basically impossible to avoid, and as Yo did not learn similar skills to defend. Mosquito-scented tadpole, use hypnosis directly on the spot, Zhang Cheng commanded decisively. With a blessing of rainy weather, the mosquito-scented tadpole quickly used hypnosis and hypnotized Yo before launching the double slash. Looking at Yo who fell into a sleeping state, Zhang Tao also deeply realized the power of this mosquito-scented tadpole. Zhang Tao did not use physical awakening like other trainers to try to wake up the Pokémon. Firstly, he couldn't bring himself to do that, and secondly, the probability of waking up was very low. If you are hypnotized, you basically can't escape from a skill damage. So Zhang Tao simply waited for the attack of the mosquito to wake up Fangaya. Mosquito, Bubble Beam. Zhang Cheng directly let the mosquito use the most powerful Bubble Beam skill attack. Dragon Pokémon have resistance to water skills, but now in rainy weather, water skills will also be improved. With a mutual offset, the power of the Bubble Beam is still considerable. Mosquito the mosquito quickly condensed a large amount of foam and directly hit the sleeping Fangaya. Fangaya also cried out in pain after being attacked. After waking up, Fangaya continued to attack with 2 consecutive slashes. As a result, Fangaya's attack missed again. The speed of the mosquito in the rainy weather was too fast. Seeing that Fangaya's attack missed, the mosquito seized the opportunity and used a series of slaps. A series of slaps hit Yaya's face. The damage was not high, but it was very insulting. Yaya was directly angered by the behavior of the mosquito repellent. After the mosquito repellent used the series of slaps, the rainy weather also disappeared. Zhang Tao seized the opportunity to command Yaya to attack. Yeah, use the dragon's fury. Yaya couldn't help but want to take action, and directly threw out a dragon's fury. Without the speed blessing of the rainy weather, the mosquito repellent was directly hit by the dragon's fury. The damage of the dragon's fury is very considerable when the elves are generally low in level. The mosquito repellent was attacked by the dragon's fury, and the degree of injury was almost the same as Yaya. The health of both of them was consumed by more than half. Continue to use the double slash to attack, don't give it a chance to breathe. Seeing that his attack was effective, Zhang Tao immediately issued a combat order. Yaya condensed the dragon energy on his arm and slashed at the mosquito repellent continuously. The mosquito repellent tadpole had just recovered from the attack of dragon's fury, but was hit by the second consecutive attack and was directly knocked away. Mosquito repellent tadpole, use the bubble beam. Zhang Cheng began to counterattack. Mosquito the mosquito repellent tadpole stabilized its body, quickly condensed water energy, and launched a bubble beam to attack. Without the blessing of rainy weather, I am not afraid of your water skills, Zhang Tao said with a sure victory. Yoya, take a bubble beam, and then use dragon's fury. Yoya had long been unhappy with the mosquito repellent tadpole, and directly condensed the greatest energy to launch dragon's fury. Yoya was attacked by the bubble beam, but did not suffer too much damage. The mosquito repellent tadpole on the other side was attacked by dragon's fury and was directly beaten to the point of losing the ability to fight. Looking at the situation in front of them, the audience also started to discuss, the dragon-type elf is worthy of its reputation for being powerful. The power of its skills and its physical fitness are not comparable to other elves. It seems that Zhang Cheng from number 1 middle school is going to lose, but if Yan from number 1 middle school wins one of the next 2 games, he can also win the championship. I feel that this Zhang Cheng is not that simple. If he is defeated like this, it would be too disappointing. Then how do you think he can turn the tables? If the current mosquito repellent tadpole is attacked again, it will most likely lose its combat ability. Zhang Tao on the battlefield looked at the situation in front of him, and began to defeat Zhang Cheng psychologically. You no longer have a chance. It's still not too late to surrender now, so as not to hurt your own elf. Listening to Zhang Tao's words, Zhang Cheng smiled and said, it's too early to draw a conclusion now. It's still unknown who will win. Chapter 84, Reversal. Since you don't want to accept this reality, let me help you. Zhang Tao thought it was Zhang Cheng's last act of stubbornness. Yoya, Dragon's Fury? Yo-Yo began to condense dragon energy, forming Dragon's Fury to attack. Now, Mosquito Tadpole use Hypnosis, ignore it, concentrate on using Dragon's Fury. Zhang Tao looked at Zhang Cheng's actions and found them very ridiculous. After the hypnosis was released, Mosquito Tadpole was directly defeated by Dragon's Fury. Yo-Yo followed the trainer's instructions and continued to condense Dragon's Fury. But at this moment, Mosquito Tadpole's hypnosis flew directly in front of Yo-Yo, and accurately hid and hypnotized Yo-Yo directly. What? How can hypnosis be so fast? Zhang Tao seemed to have thought of something, and then said, did you just let the mosquito-repellent tadpole secretly use the Eye of the Heart? Yes, this hypnosis has the enhancement of the Eye of the Heart. Your arrogance will make you lose miserably. Hearing Zhang Cheng's words, Zhang Tao laughed and said, it's too early to be happy. Even if my Yaya is hypnotized, your mosquito-repellent tadpole has no eye skills at all. How can it defeat Yaya in a short time? Zhang Tao is very sure that the mosquito-repellent tadpole has not learned the eye skills. If it really has eye skills, it is impossible to hide it until now. My mosquito-repellent tadpole does not have eye skills, but it has a skill that you are very familiar with, Zhang Cheng said in suspense. Don't make fearless struggles, face the reality. If you don't launch an attack, my Yaya will wake up. Zhang Tao shook his head and said, mosquito-repellent tadpole, use reckless action and then follow up with a water gun attack as quickly as possible. Mosquito. The mosquito-repellent tadpole dragged his injured body and used the genetic skill of reckless action. If Yaya was awake, the attack of the tadpole would not have hit her, but now Yaya had fallen asleep, and the tadpole's attack hit her accurately. Yaya was hit by the attack of the tadpole's skill, and her health was close to death. What? Zhang Tao was shocked, and then he quickly reacted and commanded, Yaya, counter-attack quickly, use the double slash. Yaya woke up after being attacked by the tadpole, and in a panic, he quickly gathered energy to prepare for the double slash. But just as it was about to gather energy, the tadpole's water gun skill attacked and directly knocked Yaya out. After being hit by the tadpole and having little health, the water gun skill followed, which became the last straw that broke the camel's back. Yaya fainted directly on the ground after being attacked by the water gun and lost her ability to fight. Yaya has lost her ability to fight, and the winner is Zhang Cheng. The whole audience suddenly became quiet, and then immediately became excited and began to discuss the game fiercely. Am I seeing right? Mosquito Tadpole actually won. What a wonderful game. It's really worth coming here this time. This Zhang Cheng is too cunning. It feels like he has been calculating from the beginning to the end. Now the experimental high school has no hope of winning the championship. Zhang Cheng and Yi Tian from number 1 middle school have both won 9 consecutive games. Whoever wins the last game will be the champion this time. Looking at the scene in front of him and listening to various discussions in his ears, Zhang Tao was stunned and a little overwhelmed. He actually lost, and was overturned with such a big advantage. As a person, it's better to keep a low profile. Zhang Cheng left the battlefield directly after leaving a simple sentence. After returning to the preparation area, Zhang Cheng came to Yan, who had finished the game before Zhang Cheng. It will be our game soon. I didn't expect that the final champion would be decided between the two of us, Zhang Cheng said with some sighs. Yi Tian didn't say anything. I don't know what he was thinking. Yi Tian, what's wrong with you? Zhang Cheng stretched out his hand and waved it in front of Yi Tian and asked. Well, it's okay. I was distracted just now, Yi Tian said lightly. Hurry up and get ready for the game. It will be our turn to play soon. Come on, Zhang Cheng patted Yi Tian on the shoulder and said. Seeing that Yi Tian didn't seem to be in a good mood, Zhang Cheng didn't plan to say much, and quietly waited for the game to start. After a short break, the game continued, and the focus of the whole audience was on the battle between Zhang Cheng and Yi Tian. Compared with this, the other battles were simply not interesting at all, because this was the last game to decide the champion and runner-up. Zhang Cheng and Yi Tian came to the battle area from the left and right sides respectively. Come on, let's fight and see who is the champion of Zhang Cheng, Yi Tian said directly to Zhang Cheng. That's what I meant. Let's have a good fight. Zhang Cheng was also looking forward to the duel between himself and Yi Tian. Both sides, please release your combat elves, the referee's voice sounded, and he was also a little curious about who would win this game. Bardaily, it's decided to be you, Babo, get ready to fight. Both sides released their elves at the same time to fight. Is it really Bardao? Zhang Cheng murmured. Heracris is restrained by Babo 4 times, so Yi Tian's best choice is Bardao. Looking at the Bobo sent by Zhang Cheng, Yuan's face was a little solemn. Zhang Cheng's Bobo and Mosquito are now both level 15, so he gave priority to Bobo, who restrains Bardohao in attributes. This battle is very unfavorable for Yuan. Seeing that both sides have released the elves, the referee blew the whistle directly. The game begins. Bardohao, Wind, Bobo, Air Blade. Both sides used the ultimate moves of the flying system to make tentative attacks. Bardohao flapped his wings to condense a large amount of whirlwind to attack. Bobo gathered all the energy on his wings and rushed towards Bardohao at a very fast speed. Bardohao sent out a whirlwind to block Bobo's attack. Bobo turned his wings into sharp blades and kept cutting the flying whirlwind. Under the fierce attack of Pidgeot, the whirlwind was completely dispersed. After breaking Butterfree's wind skill, Pidgeot's air blade power and speed were reduced a lot, and was dodged by Butterfree. I was discovered, Yuan clenched his fist and said secretly. His Butterfree often hides hypnotic powder in the wind skill, so now the trainers who fight with Yuan will always be on guard. Yuan often uses counter-psychology, using ordinary wind attacks to force the opponent to retreat. But Zhang Cheng seemed to see through him, and directly let Pidgeot attack, not worrying about the problem of hypnotic powder. The first tentative fight between the two sides did not cause any substantial damage. Chapter 85 Fateful Showdown. Butterfield, Telekinesis, EEE. Use Lightning Flash to get close, then use the Thief skill. Zhang Cheng would not give Yuan such an opportunity again. Bobo used Lightning Flash at a very fast speed, directly interrupting Butterfree, who was about to continue to use Telekinesis. After hitting Butterfree, Bobo also followed up with a Thief skill. Bobo's Thief skill has achieved some results in recent training. The Thief skill successfully hit and directly snatched the peach fruit carried by Butterfree. Now that he has obtained the peach fruit, he no longer needs to be afraid of Butterfree's poison powder attack, because the peach fruit has the effect of detoxification. Yuan looked at the situation in front of him, without any panic, and calmly commanded, Butterfree, use Bug Bite, While the insect bite caused damage to Pidgeot, it also triggered the effect of swallowing the opponent's fruit. The peach fruit that Pidgeot had just snatched was eaten directly by Butterfree. Pidgeot used the air blade to force Butterfree back. Pop! Pidgeot, who was in a panic, calmed down after hearing the trainer's command. He endured the severe pain of being bitten and concentrated his energy on his wings. Seeing Pidgeot launching a flying skill to attack, Yuan immediately ordered Butterfree to retreat. Butterfree, dodge quickly and pull back. Butterfree is in a good state at the moment, but it is obviously not a wise choice to take a flying skill head-on. Seeing the air blade coming, Butterfree quickly loosened its teeth and retreated to the back. After the insect bite attack ended, the pain on Pidgeot's face did not diminish, but became more serious. Butterfree has poison powder on its teeth. Zhang Cheng looked at Pidgeot, whose face turned purple, and thought to himself that it was not good. This Butterfree's powder attack is really hard to defend against, and it will be disgusting if you are not careful. Seeing that Bobo was poisoned, Zhang Cheng knew that he couldn't delay any longer. He had to fight quickly, otherwise Bobo would be poisoned to death sooner or later. Bobo, air blade, boom boom boom. Bobo, who was ambushed, was also very angry. He endured the severe pain and launched a powerful air blade to attack Butterfree. Hold on, Yuan commanded indifferently. Zhang Cheng knew the current situation, and Yuan naturally knew it too. What he had to do now was to delay time. The longer he delayed, the better it would be for him. Butterfree used the hold skill to form a thin transparent shield in front of him. It was this seemingly fragile shield that easily blocked Bobo's air blade. After the attack missed, Bobo's face became more painful. Bobo's health value was slowly decreasing under the poisoning state. Bobo used the air blade again. Zhang Cheng knew that Butterfree's hold skill could not be used continuously, so he should continue to attack at this time. Butterfree uses telekinesis to force Bobo back. Zhang Cheng, I should win this time. I am the strongest. Yuan looked at the situation in front of him and said silently in his heart. In this case, I have to use my last trump card, Pico. Zhang Cheng did not issue any instructions, but simply called Pico in the battlefield. Pico heard Zhang Cheng's call and understood what the trainer meant. At this moment, a large amount of white light appeared on Pico's body. And the light became more and more dazzling as time went by. In the battles of the previous 2 days, Pico had faint signs of evolution, but this situation was not obvious. Zhang Cheng did not send Pico again in the subsequent battles, in order to save the opportunity for evolution at the most critical time. What's going on? Look, is Pico going to evolve? Is this going to be a reversal? The people who were arguing about the outcome looked at the changes in front of them and said in surprise. On the battlefield, Yian looked at the light on Pico and immediately had a bad premonition. Bartlett, attack with the wind. Yian felt that he could not wait any longer and was ready to try to attack Pico in the light. Butterfree's wind rising skill was released, and a large number of whirlwinds flew towards the light. The whirlwinds rushed into the light one after another, but there was no reaction. Beep beep, the light in the battlefield gradually dissipated, and a very domineering Pidgeot appeared in front of everyone. Compared with Pidgeot, Pidgeot is 3 times larger, and its whole body is full of power. Pidgeot spread its wings and looked at Butterfree in front of it. Butterfree was frightened by Pidgeot's size and took a step back. Don't be afraid, Butterfree, even if we evolve, we still have the advantage. Use telekinesis to attack. Hee with the comfort of the trainer, Butterfree also stabilized its body and began to condense energy to attack the opposite Pidgeot. Beep, Pidgeot quickly flew to the sky, condensing a thick dragon energy, which formed a whirlwind and hit Butterfree directly with lightning speed. Chapter 86, Winning the Championship. Butterfree, who was about to use telekinesis to attack, was knocked down to the ground by Pidgeot's attack. It seems that this Pidgeot just used the dragon-type trick. It has evolved. Is there going to be a reversal? It's so exciting. Seeing the sudden change, the audience was surprised. Looking at the skill Pidgeot just used, Zhang Cheng was also a little surprised. This should be the tornado skill of the dragon type. Pidgeot usually reaches level 22 to learn this skill, and now his Pidgeot has mastered it in advance. Looking at Pidgeot using dragon type skills, Yian's sense of crisis became stronger. Butterfree, cheer up, use the wind. Yian commanded Butterfree to continue attacking, but Butterfree did not respond at all and stood there blankly. Butterfree was hit by Pidgeot's tornado skill, triggering the shrinking effect. Now Butterfree cannot move because of fear. Well done, Pidgeot, use the air blade. Looking at the immobile Butterfree, Zhang Cheng directly let Pidgeot use the flying skill with excellent effect to attack. Butterfree entered a state of shrinking. Facing the flying Pidgeot, there was no defense at all. The air blade hit Butterfree's body accurately. The attacked Butterfree was once again knocked out and suffered very serious injuries. Butterfree, what's wrong with you? Can you continue to fight? Yian looked at the injured Butterfree and said worriedly. Butterfree stood up from the ground and responded to Yian, indicating that he could still fight. Pidgeot, fight quickly and decisively, use lightning flash. Pidgeot's poisoning state has not been lifted yet, and the best choice at the moment is to quickly resolve the battle. Beep, Pidgeot launched lightning flash and directly turned into a lightsaber and shot towards Butterfree in the distance. Pidgeot quickly came to Butterfree and was about to attack when a barrier suddenly appeared in front of it. Butterfree activated a defensive skill, and Pidgeot's entire body directly hit the shield of the defensive skill. Butterfree, get close to Pidgeot and use Bug Bite. Pidgeot, tornado attack. Beep 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 beep. The two elves used their skills to attack at the same time. Butterfree opened its mouth and bit Pidgeot, while Pidgeot condensed a tornado from its wings. In the end, Pidgeot was faster and caught Butterfree before it could bite itself, and a tornado knocked it away. Butterfree, who was attacked continuously, fell to the ground, and fainted after struggling a little, losing its ability to fight. Butterfree has lost its ability to fight, and the winner of this competition is Zhang Cheng. The referee's voice fell, and the whole audience fell silent. This competition was obviously beyond everyone's expectations. The ups and downs, the twists and turns, the people watching were a little bit overwhelmed. Hearing the referee's voice, Zhang Cheng also breathed a sigh of relief. This battle was really not easy. Well done, Pidgeot, come back. Zhang Cheng brought Pidgeot to his side, took out the few remaining peach fruits and gave them to Pidgeot to eat, and relieved its poisoning state. After doing this, Zhang Cheng took Pidgeot back to the Pokeball. Butterfield, you have worked hard. Yian also took back his Butterfield and walked towards the preparation area without looking back. Zhang Ben wanted to say something to Yian, but found that Yian actually left the battlefield directly. Yian seems to be a little bit wrong today, Zhang Cheng thought to himself. Then Zhang Cheng also walked down to the battlefield and came to Yian's side. Yian, are you worried about something? I feel that you are not in a good state. Hearing Zhang Cheng's greetings, Yian ignored it, looking up at the sky with his eyes. not knowing what he was thinking. Looking at Yuan's appearance, Zhang Cheng didn't say anything more. It might be better to let Yuan calm down. Zhang Cheng guessed that Yuan was probably unable to accept the fact that he lost to him. Since becoming a trainer, Yuan has been smooth sailing and has never lost. After losing in the first championship battle, it is inevitable that it will be difficult to accept. After Zhang Cheng's battle ended, the games in other battle venues also ended one after another, and this college league was successfully concluded. Next, the leaders of various schools arrived, summarizing the game and delivering their own long speeches. Half an hour later, the leaders finally finished their wonderful speeches and began the award ceremony. Under the leadership's roll call, the top 3 of this competition came to the center of the venue, received the official certificates issued by the league, and then took photos with the leaders. I declare that this Zhang Cheng College League has ended successfully. As the leader's voice fell, this college league also came to a perfect end. Under the command of the staff, the students left the training ground in an orderly manner. After the disbandment, Yuan went straight back to the dormitory without any plans to eat dinner. Zhang Cheng had to go to the cafeteria alone and simply ordered a bowl of noodles to eat. After finishing dinner, Zhang Cheng went straight back to the dormitory. The game had just ended, and it was time to have a good rest. After returning to the dormitory, Zhang Cheng went straight to take a hot shower to relieve the fatigue of his whole body. After taking a shower, Zhang Cheng released the elves, took out the remaining energy cubes and gave them to the elves to eat, and he lay on the bed and browsed his phone. The college league was also made into news and published in the hot current events of Jiangcheng City. In it, Zhang Cheng saw a photo of himself on the stage to present awards and take photos with leaders. Zhang Cheng opened the comments below the news and started reading. Enthusiastic Charmander. This time the champion and runner-up are both students from Jiangcheng No. 1 Middle School. The gap between experimental high school and No. 1 Middle School is getting bigger and bigger. Guard ever my wife, Zhang Cheng is too amazing. He evolved in the middle of the battle. He is simply the chosen one, the future superstar trainer. I was fortunate to watch the finals on site. I will regret it for the rest of my life if I don't watch it. Pika Pika. To be honest, I feel that the quality of new trainers in Jiangcheng this year is relatively low and cannot be compared with other cities. Just as Zhang Cheng was reading the comments of netizens, a message suddenly popped up on the top of the screen. Zhang Cheng clicked on it and found a message from Bai Yuling. Little brother is very good. Sister was right about you and won the championship directly. It's okay. The process was thrilling. I almost flipped over. It's okay as long as you win. When will you go back to school? It should be tomorrow. What's the matter? Do you miss your sister after not seeing her for a few days? No, I just said hello. Chapter 87, Selecting the Three Great Families. The next day, Zhang Cheng slept until noon. He had just finished the game and had no pressure, so he had a good sleep. After getting up and washing up, Zhang Cheng went to the cafeteria to have lunch. After lunch, Zhang Cheng first went to the training ground to see if Yuan was there. He turned around but did not see Yuan. Zhang Cheng had no intention of training, so he went to the school's financial department to collect his reward. The school said before that if you enter the top 10, you can get an evolution stone. Hello, I'm here to collect the reward for this college league. While speaking, Zhang Cheng handed his student's ID and Pokémon illustrations to the staff. The staff reached out to take it, and after confirming that there was no problem, he asked, "What kind of evolution stone do you need?" Zhang Cheng had already thought about it before coming, and replied directly, "Water stone." The staff opened the safe at the back and took out a water blue crystal stone from it. The crystal stone had a strong water element. In addition to the water stone, the champion also has a reward of 100,000 elf coins. This reward will be deposited into your account later. The staff handed the water stone to Zhang Cheng while speaking. Zhang Cheng was a little surprised to hear that there was an extra 100,000 elf coins reward. With this amount of elf coins, he could buy the skill learning machine that the elf needed. After receiving the water stone, Zhang Cheng thanked the staff and prepared to leave the finance department. Wait, seeing Zhang Cheng leaving, the staff took out a magnetic card and said, "This is the reward given to you by the official alliance. With this magnetic card, you can go to the breeding house to receive a 3-family elf." Zhang Cheng thought that he might have to wait for the official notification of the alliance to receive the 3-family elf. Unexpectedly, he could go to receive it now. The alliance's efficiency is still quite high. After receiving the magnetic card and thanking the staff again, Zhang Cheng got up and went to the breeding house to choose his first 3 family elf. Just as Zhang Cheng walked out of the school gate, he happened to meet Bai Yuling, who had returned. What a coincidence, brother, you didn't call me sister when you went out to play, Bai Yuling came up and said jokingly. What's the fun of going out alone? I'm going to the breeding house to collect the 3 starter Pokémons given by the Alliance, is that so? Then I'll go with you. Anyway, there's nothing to do, okay, let's go together, Zhang Cheng said as he was about to reach out to stop a taxi. No need to be so troublesome, Bai Yuling took out the Pokéball and released her Gardevoir. Give me your hand, Bai Yuling stretched out her fair little hand and said. Zhang Cheng didn't react for a moment. What are you doing? Bai Yuling didn't explain, but mainly grabbed Zhang Cheng's arm, and the other hand grabbed Gardevoir. At this time, Zhang Cheng realized that Gardevoir can use the teleportation skill. Just as Zhang Cheng was thinking about this, he suddenly felt dizzy and dizzy. About 10 seconds later, Zhang Cheng recovered. He opened his eyes and found that he had arrived at the door of the breeding house. This teleportation skill is really a magical skill for traveling, Zhang Cheng exclaimed at the speed. You know, it takes nearly half an hour to get there by taxi. But Gardevoir teleported and arrived in a few seconds. Let's go in, Bai Yuling said as she took back Gardevoir. Zhang Cheng nodded in response and walked into the breeding house with Bai Yuling. It was still a familiar environment, exactly the same as when Zhang Cheng first came. The quality of the elves from the outside to the inside was getting better and better. Zhang Cheng walked directly to the innermost part, looking for the 3 starter elves he needed. Since he was familiar with it after coming here once, Zhang Cheng refused the service of the shopping guide and checked the elves alone. Which starter elves do you want? Bai Yuling asked curiously. Zhang Cheng thought for a while and said, I'm going to choose a water jumper. Brother, are you going to form a rainy day team? Bai Yuling analyzed his choice and asked. Bai Yuling guessed Zhang Cheng's idea at once. But Zhang Cheng was not surprised. With the experience of a gym-level trainer, he could easily see it. Yes, my team is more afraid of electric elves now, so we need the addition of water jumper, Zhang Cheng said truthfully. Squirrel is indeed a good choice, but among the 3 water-type starter Pokémons, I prefer the Squirrel. Among Bai Yuling's Pokémons, there is a Squirrel, the final evolution of the Squirrel. While chatting with Bai Yuling, Zhang Cheng also came to the area where the squirrel was. There were a total of 5 squirrels in the entire breeding house. Zhang Cheng opened the system and began to check their information one by one. Among them, 3 squirrels said that they were of B-level qualifications, and 1 was of C-level qualifications. Zhang Cheng was not very satisfied with these 3. He had the opportunity to obtain the 3 starter Pokémons for free this time, and he must get the high-quality starter Pokémons. In Zhang Cheng's plan, he wanted to get an A-level starter Pokémon. If there was no suitable choice for the Squirtle, he could only choose Squirtle as a second choice. Zhang Cheng placed his hope on the last water leap fish lying in the corner. When the system was turned on, the information of this water leap fish appeared in Zhang Cheng's mind. Name, water leap fish, level 7, gender, male qualification, attribute, water carrying props, none basic skills, impact, shouting, water gun, mud throwing learning skills, none inherited skills, mirror reflection, mud bomb, double return, wide area defense characteristics, torrent. When the health value is at a low state, the torrent characteristic will be triggered, and the power of water attribute moves will be greatly improved. Note, water leap fish, a swamp fish Pokemon. The fins on its head are very sensitive radars, which can capture the surrounding conditions from the flow of water or air without relying on eyes. With A-level qualifications and 4 powerful inherited skills, this water leap fish must be captured today. After reading the information of this water leap fish, Zhang Cheng directly found a staff member next to him and said, please help me register, I want to buy that water leap fish. While speaking, Zhang Cheng pointed to the water leap fish lying in the corner. Zhang Cheng had already thought about the training direction of the water leap fish in his heart. This water leap fish has a genetic skill called wide area defense. Later, Zhang Cheng will teach the water leap fish to defend. In that case, before the skill PP is used up, he will basically be in a state where he will not be hurt. These 2 skills together may not be terrible, but just an unsolvable defense. What if it is paired with a poison skill? Let the opponent's elf enter the poisonous state, and then delay the time, and I don't know how desperate the opponent will be. Chapter 88 Purchase a Skill Learning Machine. Thinking of this, Zhang Cheng did not hesitate to find a staff member to prevent the water leap fish from being taken by others. The staff member looked at the water leap fish that Zhang Cheng pointed to and said hesitantly, "Classmate, the price of our water leap fish is very expensive. Do you want to reconsider it? Tell me how many Pokemon coins it costs first." Zhang Cheng rolled his eyes and said that even if he was not eligible for free, he should tell himself the price before trying to persuade him to give up. The price of our water leap fish is 1.5 million Pokemon coins, the staff member said with a smile. He just thought Zhang Cheng was a young man who didn't know the world. There were many trainers who wanted to get this water leap fish before, but they were all discouraged by the high price. So expensive? Zhang Cheng asked in surprise. Zhang Cheng actually knew the approximate price of this water leap fish. At that time, it cost 200,000 Pokemon coins to buy a Pokemon egg of a tadpole. By analogy, the price of an ordinary Pokemon egg of the 3 starters should be around 500,000. The price of a Pokemon is naturally more expensive than a Pokemon egg. In addition, this water leap fish is a high-quality Pokemon of the 3 major Pokémons. The price of 1.5 million is reasonable. Yes, this water leap fish has excellent qualifications. It is a Pokemon of the 3 major Pokémons imported from our breeding house. The staff member looked at Zhang Cheng and said with embarrassment. In fact, she was very disdainful in her heart. Is that so? Then I will take it directly. Bring the Pokeball of this water leap fish here. Oh, are you sure, classmate? The price of this water leap fish is 1.5 million Pokemon coins. The staff member thought that she had heard it wrong. You heard it right. Put the water leap fish away and put it at the cashier. I will go to pay the bill later. After that, Zhang Cheng took Bai Yuling out of the Pokemon area. My brother is really naughty. Bai Yuling looked at Zhang Cheng's operation just now and smiled secretly with her hands covering her mouth. Who made that guy have such a bad attitude? Zhang Cheng rolled his eyes and said. Where are you going now? Bai Yuling looked at the Pokémons around him and asked. I'm going to buy the Pokémons a skill learning machine for holding on. This skill is quite practical, Zhang Cheng said his thoughts as he walked. Very smart. Almost all Pokémons can learn the skill of holding on. It is also a widely used skill. Pokémons of gym-level trainers can basically use this skill, Bai Yuling praised. It is indeed very talented to think of this soon after becoming a trainer. The breeding house basically has all the items Pokémons need. Zhang Cheng quickly came to the skill learning machine sales area according to the signs. There are many skill learning machines for sale here. Zhang Cheng glanced at them casually and didn't see the skill learning machine for holding on, so he just found another staff member. The attitude of this staff member is completely different from the previous one. Seeing that the customer needs help, he immediately ran over and asked, My classmate, how can I help you? A little girl in war clothes came to Zhang Cheng. The enthusiastic service attitude of the staff also made Zhang Cheng feel much better. He said politely, I want to buy a skill learning machine for holding on. Okay, come here, classmate. We have put together some skill learning machines that most Pokemon can learn, so it's convenient for customers to choose. Zhang Cheng followed the staff and soon found the skill learning machine for holding on. Please help me get 3 skill learning machines for holding on. Just pack them together, no problem, classmate. Do you have anything else you need? The skill learning machines here are universal for Pokémons. Do you need me to recommend one for you? No, I don't need anything else for now. Seeing that Zhang Cheng had no idea, the staff also stopped recommending and took Zhang Cheng to the cashier to check out. At the cashier, Zhang Cheng picked up the Pokeball of the water leap fish and gave it to the cashier to check out after confirming that there was no problem. 3 defensive skill learning machines cost a total of 90,000 Pokemon coins, and the price of this water leap fish is 1.5 million. We are currently doing an event in our breeding house. If you buy a Pokemon worth 1 million in our breeding house, you can waive the cost of other items by 100,000, the cashier patiently explained. In short, your 3 defensive skill learning machines are free. Then can I still participate in this event if I use this to resist the cost of water leap fish? Zhang Cheng took out a magnetic card given to him by the school and said. After the cashier took it, he turned on the computer and started to check. Wait a moment, I will help you confirm it here. A minute later, the cashier confirmed that it was correct and said, you can participate in the event using this magnetic card. You can take the Pokemon and the skill learning machine away directly, and you don't need to pay any fees. Hearing this, Zhang Cheng smiled. There is such a good thing? Isn't this equivalent to freeloading? Okay, thank you, Zhang Cheng took the Pokemon ball and the skill learning machine of Water Leap Fish and left the breeding house. After Zhang Cheng left, the two cashiers began to discuss Zhang Cheng's affairs. What kind of card was that person's magnetic card just now? He could take away such an expensive Pokemon directly, a colleague nearby asked curiously when he saw Zhang Cheng actually took away 3 Pokemons directly. The cashier who received Zhang Cheng said, "It's a gold card issued by the official alliance, which can take away a Pokemon for free. I'm so envious. 1 Pokemon is my salary for many years, just be envious." After leaving the breeding house, Zhang Cheng stopped and turned to look at Bai Yuling beside him. "Why are you looking at me? Is there something on my face?" Bai Yuling asked, touching her face. "I'm waiting for you to take me back." "Don't you want to take the bus?" Zhang Cheng said helplessly. "Is that so?" Bai Yuling said innocently. "I really don't understand what you mean. It's still early. Let's go shopping for a while before going back to school." After saying that, he directly took Zhang Cheng's arm and walked towards the shopping mall in the city center. In the next few hours, Zhang Cheng has been acting as a coolie, helping Bai Yuling carry the various clothes she bought. Zhang Cheng can now confirm that Bai Yuling's family background must be extraordinary. The money she spends on buying clothes every time is almost enough to buy an ordinary elf egg of the 3 major families. The biggest difference between Bai Yuling and other women is that other women will pick out various clothes to try on when shopping, and then make a choice. Bai Yuling, on the other hand, will buy whatever clothes she thinks are good looking, and she has bought more than 10 pieces along the way. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 89 Dream. The two of them walked around the mall together. Bai Yuling found that there was nowhere to go, so she found a place to sit down and rest. Zhang Cheng was relieved after sitting down. It seemed that he would not continue to go shopping today. Just as Zhang Cheng thought, Bai Yuling thought for a while and said, "The restaurant was not bad last time. Let's go there again." Zhang Cheng was not picky about food and nodded in agreement. After the two of them rested for a while, they used Gardevoir's instant movement to come to the elf restaurant. After sitting down, Bai Yuling ordered all the dishes she had eaten last time. After waiting for a while, various dishes were continuously presented. Zhang Cheng felt that the best tasting dish here was the steamed green onion duck, and the taste was not comparable to other meats. The two of them began to eat and drink a lot. After eating and drinking, they lay on the chairs and browsed their phones. Seeing that it was getting late, Zhang Cheng took the initiative to suggest, "Why don't we go back to school first? It's getting late, don't worry, with Gardevoir here, it won't take long to go back," Bai Yuling said indifferently. Seeing that Bai Yuling had no intention of going back, Zhang Cheng had to give up. He would definitely wait for Bai Yuling to go back together. "Have you ever thought about going to school in the Magic City?" Zhang Cheng was a little confused as to why Bai Yuling asked such a question. Looking at Zhang Cheng's reaction, Bai Yuling continued, "Do you have any dreams, or do you have anything you want to do?" "My dream is to become a trainer who surpasses the champion level," Zhang Cheng said his goal without hesitation. Since he came to this Pokemon world, he must make some achievements. There is no meaning in living a mediocre life. The Magic City has better resources and more room for development. Staying in Jiangcheng is like being a frog in a well. If you want to become stronger, you have to go to other cities, Bai Yuling continued. "You should know that there are many big families in China. These families monopolize a lot of resources. It is very difficult for ordinary people to become a king-level trainer." "What exactly do you want to say, sister?" Zhang Cheng was a little confused. Why did Bai Yuling suddenly say these words to him? "I mean, you can come to the Magic City to study. The resources here can make you grow faster, and I can also help you." "Help me," Zhang Cheng said in confusion. "Although my sister and I have known each other for a while, our relationship has not reached that level yet. Why do you want to help me? Is there any exchange condition?" Zhang Cheng does not believe that there is a free lunch in this world. "No, I can help you unconditionally," Bai Yuling said while playing with her hair. "Then why do you want to help me?" Zhang Cheng became more and more confused as he listened. "No reason. Now I'm asking you, are you willing to come to the Magic City to study?" "Yes, since my sister has said so, I certainly have no reason to refuse." Although he didn't know what Bai Yuling's purpose was, He didn't have any better choice. It was simply a foolish dream for a trainer of ordinary origin to want to become a champion-level trainer. Champion-level trainers of all generations were born in big families, without exception. But I have a question I want to know the answer to. Zhang Cheng hesitated and said. Well, ask. I will tell you everything I can answer. Bai Yuling nodded. Is my sister from a big family? Yes, the Bai family of the Magic City, a fairy-type elf family in China, and the enemy of the Kyoto Long family. Zhang Cheng was not too surprised to hear Bai Yuling's answer. Only the geniuses of these big families could become gym-level trainers at the age of 20. Anything else you want to ask? Bai Yuling lay on the table and said lazily. Zhang Cheng thought for a moment and shook his head. No more. There are 2 million elf coins in this card. You can buy whatever you need. Bai Yuling took out a black card and placed it in front of Zhang Cheng. 2 million. Zhang Cheng's brain circuit was a little confused. What was going on? Brother, do you think it's too little? Bai Yuling said jokingly. No, it's just a little too sudden. Is this the joy of being supported by a rich woman? Bai Yuling rolled her eyes and said, okay, if there's nothing else, let's go back to school. We still have classes tomorrow. After saying that, Bai Yuling walked out of the restaurant. Looking at Bai Yuling leaving, Zhang Cheng looked at the black card on the table. After a psychological struggle, Zhang Cheng let go of his stubbornness. This soft rice is really delicious. Zhang Cheng got up and took the black card, then followed Bai Yuling's steps. The two came to the open space outside. Bai Yuling summoned Gardevoir and sent the two back to school through teleportation. Go back and have a rest. You must be exhausted after a day of walking around. Bai Yuling looked at Zhang Cheng, who was in a daze, and said with her cute big eyes. Okay, sister, go to bed early too. After saying goodbye, Zhang Cheng turned and walked towards the student dormitory. Bai Yuling stood on the balcony, looking at Zhang Cheng, who was going away, and murmured, is this really the right thing to do? After Zhang Cheng returned to the dormitory, he was still a little worried about Yi Tian's condition, so he came to the door of Yi Tian's dormitory and knocked on the door. Yi Tian, are you there? Soon the door of the dormitory was opened, and Yi Tian looked at Zhang Cheng outside the door and said, come in and sit down first. Zhang Cheng nodded and went to the room and sat down. My mentality was affected a little yesterday, but now it's fine, don't worry about it. Before Zhang Cheng asked, Yi Tian took the initiative to say. Are you sure you're okay? Zhang Cheng said worriedly, I feel like you weren't in a very good state yesterday. It's okay now. Look how energetic I am. Yi Tian patted Zhang Cheng on the shoulder and said, in the first game, we won all the way, but suddenly lost in the end. It was indeed a big blow to our mentality. Now I've adjusted. Seeing Yi Tian's current state, it was indeed the same as before, so Zhang Cheng was relieved. By the way, did you go to collect the rewards today? Zhang Cheng didn't know if Yi Tian knew about the rewards. I went in the afternoon, but I haven't chosen the 3 major families yet. I should wait 2 days before choosing. I took the magnetic card to the breeding house today to get the 3 major families. Recently, the breeding house is doing an event. After choosing the elf, you can get a skill learning machine worth 100,000 elf coins for free. Is there such a good thing? Yi Tian was immediately interested when he heard about free stuff. I'll take a leave tomorrow to go to the breeding house. Otherwise I'll lose a lot after the event. Looking at Yi Tian's current state, Zhang Cheng finally felt relieved. Chapter 90 Yi Tian's choice. I'll go with you tomorrow, Zhang Cheng took the initiative to say. Sure, but can you take a leave? I still have classes tomorrow, Yi Tian said hesitantly. No problem on my side, as long as you can go out tomorrow, gather at the school gate tomorrow. Zhang Cheng said that he had no problem. It was easy for him to take a leave. He had taken such a long leave before when he went out for training, so he didn't need to spend a day or two. The most important thing was that Zhang Cheng didn't want to take theoretical knowledge classes, which were too troublesome. Okay, then I'll talk to our instructor first, and we'll go out together tomorrow. After confirming the departure time tomorrow, Zhang Cheng returned to his room. After a simple wash, Zhang Cheng took out the Pokeball of the water leap and released it. Dana after the water leap came out, it looked around curiously, and then looked at its trainer. Water leap, you must be very hungry after not eating for a day, come and eat something. As he said this, Zhang Cheng took out the water energy cube and placed it on the palm of the water leap. The water jump fish curiously put the energy cube on its nose and sniffed it, and then finished the energy cube in one bite. After eating the energy cube, The water jump fish continued to look at Zhang Cheng, indicating that he wanted to eat more. Seeing this, Zhang Cheng also took out 2 energy cubes again. The water jump fish saw the energy cube and grabbed it and stuffed it into his mouth randomly. Looking at the cute water jump fish, Zhang Cheng smiled and said, "Eat slowly, no one will snatch it from you, Dana." The water jump fish felt that what his trainer said made sense, so he slowed down the speed of eating. "Water jump fish, I will be your trainer in the future. Let's work hard together to become stronger, okay?" After feeding the water jump fish, Zhang Cheng said gently. Dana the water jump fish pointed to his stomach and nodded, indicating that as long as there are energy cubes, everything is not a problem. "No problem, there are definitely enough energy cubes," Zhang Cheng patted his chest and said. Dana hearing the promise of his trainer, the water jumper jumped up happily, thinking that he would be able to feast on his food in the future. It seems that this guy is quite greedy. I will use energy cubes to control him in the future, Zhang Cheng thought to himself. After getting familiar with the water jumper, Zhang Cheng also released the mosquito coil, the pied bird and the sheep. Under Zhang Cheng's introduction, the water jumper quickly became familiar with the elves and began to play happily together. Zhang Cheng was also very happy to see the elves playing together. Then Zhang Cheng simply washed up, and then gave the elves a massage in turn. After the first massage, the water jumper felt a little ecstatic, thinking that he was really with the right person. He was served with delicious food and drinks every day, which was much better than being in the breeding house. After settling several elves, Zhang Cheng opened his phone and sent a message to Bai Yuling to ask for leave. "Sister, I'm going to take half a day off tomorrow morning. I have something to do." "What's the matter? Are you kidding me to skip class and go out to play?" "No, Yiyan is going to the breeding house to pick up the 3 families tomorrow, and I plan to go with him." "Is that so?" "Okay. Since you've already taken so many days off, it doesn't matter if you take half a day off. Go ahead." After successfully asking for leave, Zhang Cheng and Bai Yuling chatted briefly for a while, and then fell asleep. The next morning, Zhang Cheng got up at the urging of the alarm clock, went to the cafeteria to have a simple breakfast, and then went to the school gate to wait for Yiyan's arrival. 10 minutes later, Yiyan also came to the school gate. After the two met up, they began to rush to the breeding house. The two did not have elves that could use instant teleportation, so they could only call a taxi honestly. Sitting in the car, Zhang Cheng realized how convenient it was to use instant teleportation to travel. Half an hour later, the two arrived at the breeding house. Zhang Cheng had been here twice and was familiar with the breeding house. Soon, the two of them came to the storage area of the 3 major elves. "Which 3 major elves do you plan to choose?" Zhang Cheng asked curiously. "I want the flaming cat the most, but it's a pity that there is none here," Yiyan said regretfully. The flaming cat in China is indeed very rare, and it is basically impossible to buy it through normal channels. Let's take a look at other elves first. There are still many types of 3 major elves here, Zhang Cheng suggested. Yiyan nodded, and then began to choose the 3 major elves here. The two came to a sales area of the wood gecko, where there were a total of 3 wood geckos, playing together. Yiyan stopped after seeing the wood gecko and looked at the 3 cute little guys carefully. The 3 wood geckos saw someone staring at them, and they stopped playing and moved away. Obviously, they were still a little resistant to strangers. Seeing Yiyan's interest in the wood gecko, Zhang Cheng opened the system and scanned the information of the 3 wood geckos. 2 of the wood geckos are of B-level qualification, and 1 is of A-level qualification. Zhang Cheng looked at the situation of the wood gecko of A-level qualification, name, wood gecko, level 6, gender, male qualification, A attribute, grass carrying props, none basic skills, slap, stare, absorb, lightning flash learning skills, none inherited skills, dragon breath, magic leaf, leaf storm, grass flute characteristics, lush. When the life value of the elf is too low, it will trigger the lush characteristics and the power of grass skills will be greatly improved. Notes: wood gecko, a forest lizard Pokémon, can use the small thorns on the soles of its feet to hook the wall and climb vertically, and is used to attacking with a huge tail. This wood gecko is the best of the 3, inheriting the dragon type trick and the grass type leaf storm, both of which are very good attack skills. After a little hesitation, Yiyan chose this wood gecko of A-level qualification. Seeing Yiyan confirm the choice, Zhang Cheng found a staff member to register. After completing the registration, the staff put the Bulbasaur into a Pokeball and gave it to Yiyan. The two of them took the Pokeball and continued to walk towards the sales place of the skill learning machine. After Zhang Cheng's introduction, Yian already knew the details of the event, and hurried over to get some for free. After arriving at the skill learning machine sales place, Zhang Cheng still called a staff member to take the two of them to make a purchase. There were too many types of skill learning machines here, and it would be a waste of time to find them by yourself. "Excuse me, what do you two need?" the staff member asked. "I want to see a skill learning machine suitable for Butterfree, and the price is within 100,000, Yian directly stated his goal. "Understood, Butterfree skill learning machines are all on the shelves in front, please follow me." The staff member led the way in front, and the two followed our footsteps from behind. Chapter 91 Shopping. Under the guidance of the staff, the two came to the skill learning machine area of Bardalio. Here are all the skills that Bardalio can learn, and they are all marked with prices. "If you need recommendations, please tell me," the staff said patiently. "It's okay, let's take a look first, and tell you if there is a need." Yian prefers to make choices by himself. Zhang Cheng took a rough look. The skill learning machines in the breeding house are quite comprehensive. The skill learning machines that Zhang Cheng has seen so far include Destruction Death Beam, Solar Beam, Dream Eater, Sleep, Hold, Bluff, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball. The prices of these skill learning machines are high and low. The most expensive is the Destruction Death Beam learning machine, which costs up to 300,000. You must know that this is just a skill, not a Pokémon. Yian directly skipped those skill learning machines with a price of more than 100,000 and checked the skill learning machines below 100,000 that are suitable for Bardalio. After comprehensive consideration, Yian chose the grass-type skill Energy Ball, which is priced at just 100,000 Pokemon coins. In Zhang Cheng's opinion, this choice is very Yian. There are two advantages to doing this. The first is that you can perfectly use the 100,000 elf coins of the event for free. And the second is that it allows Butterfree to learn grass-type skills, which can have a wider range of attacks. At present, Yian's Butterfree has learned 4 types of skills: Psychic, Flying, Bug and General, which have a good attack effect against most elves. After Yian chose the skills, Zhang Cheng once again found the staff and said, "I want to buy the Thunder and Storm learning machines. Can you help me get them?" "Oh, okay, no problem." The staff was a little surprised, because the price of these two skill learning machines is 250,000, and buying them at a time is 500,000, which is not a small amount. After waiting for a while, the staff came to Zhang Cheng with the Thunder and Storm learning machines. "This is the Thunder and Storm skill learning machine you want." "All here, thank you." Zhang Cheng also responded to the staff politely. After getting the skill learning machines they needed, the two did not stay too long and went directly to the cashier. After Yian showed the magnetic card issued by the school, he got the Wood Gecko and Energy Ball skill learning machines for free. Zhang Cheng paid 500,000 elf coins and took away the Thunder and Storm skill learning machine. "How come you are so rich all of a sudden? Are you being kept by some rich woman?" Yian asked suspiciously as he walked out of the breeding house. "What are you thinking about?" Zhang Cheng touched his nose and said, "I went out to gain experience and took on some tasks and earned a lot of money. Then I relied on the support from my family, so I was able to collect 500,000 elf coins." "Is that really the case?" Yian still didn't quite believe it. "There's no need for me to lie to you about this." Zhang Cheng had to pretend to be nonchalant. What should Zhang Cheng say? He couldn't possibly tell Yian that this was given to him by his beautiful teacher. "We'll continue to compete after we return to school. It's just right for my Wood Gecko and your Water Leap fish to get familiar with the battle." Yian no longer bothered about the previous question. "No problem. It just so happens that both of them are from the 3 great Pokémons. They are the perfect opponents for the battle." Seeing that the time was approaching, Zhang Cheng planned to have lunch before going back, otherwise the food in the school cafeteria would have been sold out by the time he returned. "Let's have lunch first, and then go back to train the Pokémons in the afternoon," Zhang Cheng took the initiative to say. "No problem." Yian also thought this was a good suggestion. The two of them found a restaurant together, and after a simple meal, they booked a taxi to take them back to school. Neither of them wanted to go back to class. Since they had asked for leave, they simply didn't go back to the classroom. The two of them came to the training ground together and released their Pokémons for training. "Let's let the Wood Gecko and the Water Leaper practice their respective skills first. Now they may not be proficient in the use of skills, and it is not easy to fight," Zhang Cheng thought for a while and said. Yian nodded in agreement, and the two of them instructed their Pokémons how to use skills to attack, and waited for the Pokémons to practice on their own after they were familiar with them. Come out, Butterfree, Mosquito, get ready for battle. The two of them released their main Pokémons and continued to spar. Butterfree, telekinesis attack. Butterfree took the initiative and used the psychic telekinesis skill. The telekinesis quickly hit the Mosquito and threw it away. Mosquito, use the bubble beam. Mosquito. The Mosquito was also a little angry after being attacked, and quickly condensed the bubble beam to attack. Hold it. Butterfree used the hold skill to block all the flying bubbles. Mosquito, pray for rain. Seeing Butterfree use the hold skill, Zhang Cheng couldn't do anything about it, so he had to use other skills to improve the strength of the elves. Mosquito, a large amount of water element energy surged into the sky, forming rainy weather. Mosquito, use the bubble beam again. In rainy weather, the Mosquito's leisurely and free swimming characteristics were triggered, and the speed doubled. The speed of releasing skills was very terrifying. The bubble beam condensed in a very short time and directly hit Butterfree in the distance. Butterfree, attack with wind. Yian asked Butterfree to use the wind again. Zhang Cheng guessed that Yian still pretended to use hypnotic powder this time, but actually wanted Zhang Cheng to avoid a sharp edge and delay until the rainy weather ended. So Zhang Cheng chose to continue attacking at the breakpoint, using the advantage of rainy weather to quickly resolve the battle. Mosquito, keep using bubble beams for me. I don't believe you can hold on. Mosquito believed in the trainer's choice very much, and directly transformed into a turret on the spot, continuously releasing bubble beams to attack. Unfortunately, Zhang Cheng made a wrong prediction this time, and Butterfree's wind skill carried hypnotic powder. Mosquito's bubble beam just hit Butterfree, and it was hit by hypnotic powder and fell asleep. You didn't expect it, right? I just took advantage of your idea that I wanted to delay time, and did the opposite, and directly poured hypnotic powder into the whirlwind, Yian said proudly after seeing Zhang Cheng being hit. This kid's routine is really getting deeper and deeper. Looking at the sleeping Mosquito, Zhang Cheng covered his forehead and said, if Yian's previous move only made Zhang Cheng feel difficult, then the following move surprised Yian. Butterfree, stop attacking and stay where you are. Seeing that the Mosquito coil tadpole fell into hypnotic state, Yian did not rush to launch an attack. Chapter 92 Mosquito Frog. Looking at Yian's actions, Zhang Cheng instantly understood his intention. If the mosquito-repellent tadpole is attacked, it will most likely wake up from sleep. In this case, the rainy weather will still continue, and Butterfree will always be at a disadvantage. Now Yian wants to delay the time, let the rainy weather end, and then attack the mosquito-repellent tadpole. Although Zhang Cheng knew Yian's intention, there was no way to change it. Now he could only hope that the mosquito-repellent tadpole could wake up earlier. In this way, a harmonious scene appeared on the battlefield. The mosquito-repellent tadpole was snoring, and Butterfree was flapping its wings on the side, silently waiting for the rainy weather to end. The rainy weather ended, and the sun shone into the battlefield again. Yian looked at the mosquito-repellent tadpole who was still sleeping, and directly launched an attack. The rainy weather had ended, and there was no need to wait any longer. Butterfree, get close to the tadpole and use the insect bite. Butterfree, who had been waiting nearby, was also very excited when he heard the trainer's order. After all, it was a bit torture to let it stay here in a daze. Butterfree quickly approached the tadpole and opened its mouth to bite the tadpole. The tadpole woke up after being attacked by the insect bite. The tadpole used a series of slaps to force Butterfree back. Seeing the tadpole wake up, Zhang Cheng immediately issued an order. The tadpole endured the pain of the insect bite, gathered energy on its tail, and slapped Butterfree. When Butterfree saw the tadpole's attack coming, it also opened its mouth and hurriedly dodged in the air. Looking at the state of the tadpole, Zhang Cheng secretly thought that it was not good. Butterfree might have applied poison powder just now. As Zhang Cheng expected, the tadpole had entered a poison state, its face gradually turned purple, and its health value continued to decline. Hot spot, Heart's Eye. Zhang Cheng planned to use the Heart's Eye, force hypnotize Butterfree, and then use brute force to reverse the situation. However, Yian also knew the difficulty of Hot Spot, and did not give it any chance. He directly launched an attack to interrupt the use of the Heart's Eye of Hot Spot. Hot Spot, use telekinesis. Butterfree quickly condensed the energy of the psychic system, and then directly repelled the Hot Spot through the air. The Hot Spot was attacked when using the Heart's Eye and was directly beaten to cast a spell. At the same time, the poison broke out again, and the hotspot's health value is reduced again. Now I don't believe you can still turn the tables, unless your hotspot can also evolve now. Looking at the situation in front of him, Yixian said jokingly. You guessed all this, Zhang Cheng said in surprise. Don't bluff me, how could there be such a coincidence? Although he didn't believe it, Yixian still shifted his sights to the hotspot. As a result, Yixian was somewhat desperate. The mosquito tadpole actually began to evolve just like Bobo last time. The mosquito tadpole's body exuded a dazzling light, and then the light dissipated, and a strong mosquito frog appeared in front of him. Zhang Cheng was also very surprised to see the mosquito frog that evolved successfully. After Bobo evolved into Pidgeot, Zhang Cheng had been looking forward to the evolution of the mosquito tadpole. Only evolution can make the elves get a qualitative improvement. Zhang Cheng opened the system to check the information of the mosquito frog. Name, mosquito frog, level 16, gender, male, qualification, B+ attribute, water carrying props, none, basic skills, playing with water, water gun, foam, hypnosis, continuous slap, praying for rain, tation pressure, learning skills, thief, inherited skills, eye of the heart, reckless, foam light characteristics, leisurely and free. In rainy and heavy rainy weather, the speed will be greatly improved. Note, mosquito frog, tadpole Pokémon, has developed muscles and can also move on land, but it swims faster in water. The level of the mosquito-scented frog has been raised to level 16. When it has completed its evolution, it has also mastered a new attack skill, Tation Yatting. Good job, mosquito-scented frog, let's use hypnosis to attack. Zhang Cheng immediately commanded the mosquito-scented frog to fight. Yobo yobo. After the evolution, the mosquito-scented frog is full of vitality, and it quickly gathers energy to emit hypnotic sound waves. This level of hypnosis can't hit Butterfree. Butterfree, dodge far away. Seeing the hypnotic sound waves of the mosquito-scented frogs flying over, Butterfree quickly dodged far away, and the hypnosis did not hit. Now, mosquito-scented frog, use the eye of the heart on the spot. No, Butterfree, use telekinesis to stop it. Yixian knew the horror of the eye of the heart combined with hypnosis, and hurriedly let Butterfree launch an attack. Mosquito frog, hypnosis, Yobo. Mosquito frog used hypnosis blessed by the eye of heart, and hypnotized Butterfree before it could react. After being hypnotized, Butterfree fell to the ground helplessly and fell asleep. First, start praying for rain, and then use the most powerful bubble beam attack. Yobo yobo. Mosquito frog condensed a large amount of water energy, forming rainy weather above the battlefield. While the rainy weather was forming, Mosquito frog also used the speed blessed by the characteristics to quickly use the bubble beam. Butterfree was attacked by the bubble beam at the beginning, and now it was hit by the bubble beam blessed by the rainy weather without any preparation, and was directly beaten to only one breath. Mosquito frog, use the tation pressure skill you just learned to finish. Zhang Cheng continued to launch a fierce attack after gaining the advantage. Yobo. Mosquito frog bent its legs downward, and pounced directly at Butterfree in front with full explosive power. Stop, 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 I give up. Yixian looked at the losing situation and took the initiative to give up. Mosquito frog, avoid Butterfree. Zhang Cheng also asked the mosquito frog that was attacking Butterfree to stop. I suspect you are deliberately messing with me. How come both Pokémon evolved when they were fighting me? Yixian complained weakly. This can only be said to be a coincidence. Mosquito Tadpole and Popo both reached the level of evolution in the College League a few days ago, and just happened to evolve when fighting with your Butterfree. Zhang Cheng comforted Yixian. Okay, I can only believe this reason, Yixian said helplessly. Okay, don't be so depressed, I'll treat you tonight. Zhang Cheng walked up and patted Yixian on the shoulder and said. Okay, I must blackmail you tonight, Yixian said fiercely. Chapter 93 Learning to Hold. In the following time, the two continued to train the skills of the elves, and then went to the cafeteria to eat. Zhang Cheng also treated the guests as agreed. When Yixian heard that he really wanted to treat the guests, he was really unambiguous and arranged all the delicious food. In the past, Zhang Cheng might have felt a little pain, but now, the feeling of being supported by a rich woman is different. This little money is not a small matter for him. The two served all the dishes, and then got 2 bottles of beer, drinking and eating at the same time. They ate until they couldn't eat anymore, and then they gave up. After lying down and resting for a while, they went back to the dormitory to rest. Because he drank some wine, Zhang Cheng felt dizzy after returning to the dormitory, and he was unconscious when he lay on the bed. The next morning, Zhang Cheng woke up drowsily to the sound of the alarm clock. Seeing that it was almost time for class, he quickly got up and washed up. When he was about to go out, Zhang Cheng suddenly remembered that he didn't seem to have given the elves dinner last night. Thinking of this, Zhang Cheng quickly released the elves. As soon as the elves came out, they looked at their trainer pitifully, and it was obvious that their stomachs were growling with hunger. Zhang Cheng quickly took out the energy cubes and gave them to the elves to eat. After the elves finished eating the energy cubes, Zhang Cheng took them to the training ground. Today is a practical teaching class. Under the guidance of Bai Yuling, everyone trained their own elves, and some students chose to compete with each other. Zhang Cheng also wanted to find an opponent to train with, but unfortunately the level of the elves in his class was too low, which was not challenging at all for Zhang Cheng. Thinking of this, Zhang Cheng could only give up the idea of fighting. Zhang Cheng released the elves and then took out the holding skill learning machine he bought. It was just right to take advantage of the time now to let the elves learn the holding skill. How useful the holding skill is, just look at your Jan's Butterfree. I don't know how many times he has taken advantage of it by holding. Such a quality skill, Zhang Cheng must also arrange it for his own elves. Zhang Cheng had bought 3 hold skill learning machines before, but now there are 4 Pokémons in total, which gave Zhang Cheng a headache. He bought one less at the time. It seems that he still needs to go to the breeding house again when he has time. After careful consideration, Zhang Cheng planned to let Frog, Pidgeot and Sheep learn the hold skill first. The current level of water leap fish is relatively low, and it is not possible to fight, so it is unlikely to use hold. In addition, water leap fish is not proficient in skills yet. Now the training focus of water leap fish is on the skills it can use. Let water leap fish use the skills it has mastered first, and then learn new skills. Zhang Cheng first guided water leap fish to practice its water gun and mud throwing skills. As for the collision skill, Zhang Cheng thought it was not necessary to be familiar with it, and the main means of attack was still the water gun. After arranging the training of water leap fish, Zhang Cheng took out the skill learning machine and placed it in front of the 3 Pokémons. Frog and Pidgeot had experience in using skill learning machines before, and they absorbed the energy of the skill learning machine with ease, and then began to try to use the hold skill. Because it was the first time for Li Yang to use the skill learning machine, he was not very proficient, but with the help of Zhang Cheng, he successfully absorbed the energy of the skill learning machine. The 3 elves tried to use the newly learned skills together. Since the 3 elves used the same skills, they could discuss with each other. With the common communication of the 3 elves, the learning speed was very fast. In less than an hour, the 3 elves could successfully use the skill of holding. It must be said that the influence of qualifications on elves is still very large. In addition to having more inherited skills, elves with high qualifications can also master new skills more quickly. After finishing the morning training, Zhang Cheng found Yi Dan, and the two had lunch together. After lunch, Zhang Cheng went directly to the training ground and continued to train the elves. After a day of practice, Shuaiyu can already use his skills familiarly. Seeing the progress of Shuaiyu, Zhang Cheng was very happy. After Shuaiyu mastered the inherited skills, Zhang Cheng let it learn to hold and poison. First add a poisonous effect to the opponent's elf, and then use the unlimited consumption of holding and wide area defense. If the opponent does not solve the skills, it will be very painful. In addition, Zhang Cheng's water leap fish also inherited double return and mirror reflection, so that no matter whether it is a physical attack or a special attack, there will be good countermeasures. After finishing a day's training, Zhang Cheng first returned to the dormitory and took out the energy cube to replenish the elves' physical strength. After a day of training, the elves were very tired and began to sleep after eating the energy cube. As the elves began to evolve, their bodies became much larger, and there was no way to give them massages in the future. The current Mosquito frog is more than 1 meter tall. If Zhang Cheng does a full massage, he will be exhausted to death. After the elves fell asleep, Zhang Cheng leaned against the head of the bed and thought about life. Until now, Zhang Cheng still couldn't figure out why Bai Yuling would help him. But if there is a benefit, Zhang Cheng is naturally happy to accept it. What he lacks most now is resources. With enough elf coins, he can quickly improve the strength of the elves. If he wants to figure out his father's affairs, he also needs strong strength. Now Zhang Cheng is also getting stronger. Since I have come to the elf world, I must live a meaningful life, solve all the questions one by one, and leave no regrets for myself. Thinking of this, Zhang Cheng is more eager to improve his strength. It is really difficult to improve in school, so I still have to go to the outside world to gain experience, Zhang Cheng muttered to himself. Picking up his mobile phone and checking the time, he found that it was already early in the morning. Zhang Cheng stopped thinking about it and covered himself with a quilt to rest. At noon the next day. What, you are going out to gain experience again? Bai Yuling looked at Zhang Cheng in surprise and said. After Zhang Cheng carefully considered it last night, he decided to take a leave of absence to gain experience the next morning. Staying in school for one more day would slow down his strength evolution a lot. There is really no point in being in school, and it is of no help to improve the level of the elves. Zhang Cheng spread his hands helplessly and said. But it is really dangerous outside, and I am not very confident about your safety, Bai Yuling said hesitantly. My sister wants me to go to Magic City University, but in my current situation, if I stay in school and evolve slowly, the probability of me being admitted to Magic City University in the college entrance examination is basically zero. Seeing that Bai Yuling was a little hesitant, Zhang Cheng directly said the words he had thought of a long time ago. Chapter 94, Continue to Experience. This reason really worked for Bai Yuling, and finally, after Zhang Cheng's soft and hard persuasion, she finally got the leave slip. After getting the leave slip, Zhang Cheng returned to the dormitory and simply cleaned up the room, then took his backpack and left the school. After leaving the school, Zhang Cheng first went to the roadside Pokémon store and bought some energy cubes for the Pokémons to eat, and then bought some healing sprays and antidotes. These things are still very useful in the wild. The healing spray can speed up the recovery of the Pokémon's injuries. Needless to say, the role of the antidote is that the Pokémon's poisoning state cannot be relieved by itself. If there is no antidote, it is only a matter of time before the Pokémon is poisoned to death. After buying all the necessities, Zhang Cheng called a taxi and went to the destination of this experience. Master, please take me to the Huangsha Mountains, Zhang Cheng said politely after getting in the car. Classmate, there are many wild Pokémons in the Huangsha Mountains. It is very dangerous to go alone, the driver kindly reminded. I am a trainer of the Pokémon school and have combat Pokémons. Master, don't worry, Zhang Cheng explained. Is that so? I was worrying about nothing. The two did not talk to each other for a while. The driver was competent and focused while driving, unlike some drivers he met before who kept talking all the way, which was a safety hazard. The destination of Zhang Cheng's training this time was called Huangsha Mountain Range. This mountain range is located in the south of Jiangcheng City and is an ancient mountain range with a long history. In the Huangsha Mountain Range, there are a large number of rock and ground elves, and their levels are also higher, which is more dangerous than the Magnolia Forest. The reason why Zhang Cheng chose to come to the Huangsha Mountain Range for training is that the elves here are of higher levels, which can improve the combat ability of his elves. The most important point is that Zhang Cheng's water elves are more restrained than ground and rock elves. When he comes here to train, as long as he does not encounter elves that are too much higher than his level, he can basically deal with them easily. 2 hours later, the taxi arrived at a small town next to the Huangsha Mountain Range. This is the town closest to the Huangsha Mountain Range, called Huangsha Town. You can stay here first, the driver said to Zhang Cheng after arriving at the destination. Thank you, Master. While saying this, Zhang Cheng also took out his mobile phone and paid the fare. After getting off the bus, Zhang Cheng first found a hotel, checked in the room and put all the things he brought in. After placing the items, Zhang Cheng came to the Pokémon Center in the town, ready to accept some tasks before entering the Huangsha Mountains for training. Although he currently has a huge sum of more than 1 million, who would complain about having too much money? No matter how many Pokémon coins there are, they will be spent eventually. Following the instructions on the roadside, Zhang Cheng came to the local Pokémon Center. Since he had accepted many tasks before, Zhang Cheng was very familiar with the process of accepting tasks. Coming to the task acceptance machine, Zhang Cheng registered his information and began to check the various tasks officially released by the Alliance. This time Zhang Cheng planned to accept some gold-level tasks, so that he could earn more Pokémon coins. After turning on the machine, Zhang Cheng directly clicked on the gold-level task bar and began to check. After a comprehensive selection, Zhang Cheng chose a task to capture Onix. The task reward was 250,000 Pokémon coins, and there was no requirement for the level of Onix. After successfully accepting the task, Zhang Cheng left the Pokémon Center directly. It was almost noon when Zhang Cheng arrived at the town today. He planned to rest for a night and then go into the yellow sand mountains to look for the traces of rock snake tomorrow. After confirming the plan, Zhang Cheng found a noodle shop and ordered some plain noodles to fill his stomach. After finishing lunch, Zhang Cheng bought a map of the nearby area and information about the distribution of elves in the yellow sand mountains in the afternoon. After doing all this, Zhang Cheng returned to the hotel, released all the elves, and then took out the energy cubes prepared in advance from his backpack to feed them. After a busy morning, Zhang Cheng felt a little tired, so he lay on the sofa in the hotel and took a nap. After Zhang Cheng woke up and looked at the time, it was already 7 o'clock in the evening. He shook his dizzy head and washed his face with cold water to wake himself up. After doing all this, Zhang Cheng walked out of the hotel, found a barbecue stall, ordered some barbecue and beer, and ate alone in silence. After eating, Zhang Cheng came to the elf market in the town. The elf market is the feature of every town. There are many merchants and trainers here. They trade here and take what they need. Zhang Cheng came here mainly to see if there were any useful elf props or skill learning machines, and secondly to stroll around and kill time. Wandering among the various vendors, the vendors had different personalities. Some were very enthusiastic, and greeted customers warmly when they approached, while others were more Buddhist merchants, playing with their phones by themselves, waiting for someone to come forward and ask about the price before they would respond. After a round of walking, Zhang Cheng found that there were very few stalls selling elf props here, and the main ones were skill learning machines and elf food. Zhang Cheng came to a skill learning machine stall. When the boss saw a customer coming, he said lightly, "If you need anything, you can take a look. There are prices on it." This merchant was different from the two Zhang Cheng mentioned earlier. This one was neither enthusiastic nor cold. Zhang Cheng looked at the stall in front of him, which was filled with various skill learning machines, of which there were many types. And the price was much cheaper than the official breeding house of the Alliance. Zhang Cheng chose the skill learning machine suitable for his elf from it. Now that we have the elf coins in hand, we must maximize the use of these elf coins to improve our strength. If we don't use the elf coins, they will be a piece of waste paper. After some selection, Zhang Cheng chose a total of 4 skill learning machines, namely, waterfall climbing, feather roosting, 100,000 volts and poison. The mosquito frog currently lacks offensive skills, so Zhang Cheng chose to buy waterfall climbing to improve the combat ability of the mosquito frog. For the pibby bird, Zhang Cheng believes that the offensive means are sufficient. And he can buy the recovery type feather roosting skill, which will have a good effect in the wild training. The sheep arranged 100,000 volts to improve the attack power of the team's electric elves. The water jump fish chose poison, which is also the skill that Zhang Cheng thinks is most suitable for the water jump fish at present. The level of the water jump fish is low, and it is difficult to have an effect if ordinary offensive skills are used now. Let the water jump fish use the routine of poison plus defense to have more advantages, and wait until the water jump fish level is upgraded and evolved later, and then focus on learning offensive skills. Chapter 95 Yellow Sands Mountains. After confirming the skill learning machines he needed to buy, Zhang Cheng calculated that a total of 450,000 Pokémon coins were needed. The most expensive 100,000 volts cost 150,000 Pokémon coins, waterfall climbing cost 100,000 Pokémon coins, feather perch cost 120,000 Pokémon coins, and poison was relatively cheaper, costing 80,000 Pokémon coins. This was something he would never have dared to think about before. These 450,000 Pokémon coins, plus the thunder and storm he had purchased before, cost a total of 950,000 Pokémon coins. It has to be said that being a trainer is a very expensive profession. Obtaining high-quality Pokémons, Pokémon food, and skill-learning machines all cost a lot of Pokémon coins. He gave the selected 4 skill-learning machines to the boss. The boss was very happy to see someone buy so many skill-learning machines at once, and gave Zhang Cheng a 10% discount. In the end, he spent 410,000 Pokémon coins to get these 4 skill-learning machines. After buying the skill-learning machines, Zhang Cheng simply wandered around and then returned to his residence. After returning to the hotel, Zhang Cheng lay on the bed and began to think about the resource arrangement and training direction of the Pokémons. At present, the level of the melee sheep is not high, and it is difficult for it to master the thunder skill. Zhang Cheng plans to let it learn the thunder skill after the melee sheep evolves into a woolly sheep. Zhang Cheng plans to let Pidgeot start learning the storm and feather roost skills tomorrow. Zhang Cheng's current plan is to enter the Huangshan Mountains every day to find wild elves to fight and improve their strength, and then let the elves learn skills during the training. Now Zhang Cheng has given each elf at least one skill learning machine. In the subsequent training, in addition to fighting with wild elves, they need to constantly familiarize themselves with new skills. After making plans, Zhang Cheng no longer thought about it. After a simple wash, he fell asleep. The next morning, Zhang Cheng got up very early, went to a breakfast shop to solve breakfast, and then took the elves to the Huangshan Mountains. The weather in the Huangshan Mountains is very bad. Once a strong wind blows, sandstorms will occur. For this reason, Zhang Cheng also bought a mask and a hat to prevent sandstorms. After entering the Huangshan Mountains, Zhang Cheng took out the map he bought and checked the habitat of the rock snake. Onyx's habitat is in the central area of the Huangshan Mountains, which is still a long way from here. Zhang Cheng thought about it and decided to catch Onyx tomorrow. Today, he would clear the road and understand the situation so that he could reach the destination quickly tomorrow. After entering the interior of the Huangshan Mountains, Zhang Cheng also saw a lot of Sandshrews and Diglett, which are the most common Pokémon. However, they are less aggressive and will take the initiative to avoid trainers when they meet them. They don't like to fight. What's more, there are so many Pokémon around Zhang Cheng. Unless he is confident in his own strength, he will not attack at will. As he went deeper, Zhang Cheng found that the levels of these Pokémon were constantly improving. The levels of the outermost Pokémon were all around level 5. Zhang Cheng had no idea about these Pokémon. If he wanted to find an opponent, he had to be at least the same level as the water leap fish. Pokémon with too low a level would be killed instantly, and there was no value in improving the combat experience of the Pokémon. He came to the middle of the Huangshan Mountains. The Pokémon levels here were all around level 10. Zhang Cheng felt that it was just right for water leap fish to train, so he stopped here and began to look for a target. On the rock in front, there was a small Geodude basking in the sun. Zhang Cheng checked the information of this Geodude. The Geodude with level 90 rank qualification was just right. After finding the target, Zhang Cheng decisively ordered the water leap fish to attack. Water leap fish, use the water gun to attack. Dana, the water leap fish, which was trying to fight for the first time, was very excited. It condensed the water energy to form a water column and attack the Geodude in front. The Geodude, who was enjoying the sun, was suddenly attacked and fell to the ground by the water gun. The Geodude had an advantage in level, but the water skills had a 4-fold restraint effect on the Geodude, and it was severely damaged by the water gun. The Geodude was very angry after being attacked, wondering who is this guy who was attacking him by surprise. After discovering the Geodude attacking him, the Geodude used a rolling attack and directly turned himself into a ball and hit the Geodude. Looking at the small Geodude that was running over, Zhang Cheng admired his courage very much. Brother, today I will let you know the power of quadruple restrained. Aquadrill, use the water gun attack again. Dana after the experience of the first attack, Aquadrill became more skilled in using the water gun. A water gun attack was launched and directly hit the rolling Geodude. Geodude was hit by the water gun while rolling and was once again knocked out, suffering very serious injuries all over his body. At this time, Geodude also realized that he was no match for Aquadrill, and hurriedly hid in the rocks to escape. There are basically no wild water Pokémon in the Yellow Sands Mountains. Presumably, this little Geodude has never used water skills before and does not know the power of the water gun. In the future, this little Geodude may have a certain shadow on water skills, which is an attack that it cannot resist at all. In the following time, Zhang Cheng continued to look for suitable wild Pokémon in this area as training objects for Aquadrill. The elves here were not challenging for Frog and Pidgeot, so Zhang Cheng asked them to learn waterfall climbing and storm skills. He took water leap fish to fight, and as for sheep, Zhang Cheng asked it to try to learn 100,000 volts first. Most of the elves here have ground attributes, and sheep's electric skills have no effect on them. Zhang Cheng only let sheep fight when encountering elves with a single rock attribute. In the following time, water leap fish defeated several wild elves again, and its level was also raised to level 8, and it learned a new skill of detection. After learning this skill, it has a good ability to deal with elves with a high dodge rate. Near noon, Zhang Cheng also asked the elves to stop training and rest, took out the energy blocks he carried with him to replenish the elves' physical strength, and he ate the packed food. After finishing lunch and waiting for the elves to recover their physical strength, Zhang Cheng continued to start afternoon training. In the afternoon, Zhang Cheng still took water leap fish to find wild elves for battle, while Frog and Pidgeot continued to familiarize themselves with the skills they had just learned. Currently, both elves are familiar with the use of defensive skills, but they are not familiar with waterfall climbing and storm skills and need more practice. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 96 Big Rock Snake. Zhang Cheng now plans to improve the strength of Waterleap and Murik, and make the level of the whole team relatively even. In this way, in future battles, there will be appropriate choices for different Pokémon. In the afternoon, Zhang Cheng continued to move towards the habitat of Onyx. Along the way, he encountered rewards of rock and ground attributes, and all of them were defeated by Waterleap. It was almost evening when he arrived at the habitat of Onyx. Zhang Cheng was familiar with the route. After confirming that there was no danger along the way, he began to return by the original route. The main purpose of today's trip is to open up a safe road, waiting to go straight here tomorrow, find Onyx and subdue it. To deal with Onyx, you need Frog as the main Pokémon. With Frog, as long as the Onyx you meet is not more than level 20, you can basically defeat it. Frog and Pidgeot have a preliminary grasp of their respective skills after an afternoon of practice. According to the current progress, when Waterleap and Murik catch up in level, Frog and Pidgeot will also be very proficient in their skills. When all the elves in his team have completed an evolution, their strength will be qualitatively improved. After completing today's task, Zhang Cheng did not stop and rush directly to the outside of the mountain. It is very dangerous to stay in the wild at night. Seeing that it was getting dark, Zhang Cheng quickened his pace. After returning to Huangsha town, Zhang Cheng came to the restaurant and had a delicious dinner. Now that he has money, it is time to improve the quality of life and reward himself with a big meal every night. After finishing dinner, Zhang Cheng returned to the hotel, released the elves, and took out the energy cubes they loved to eat and put them in a bowl. The 4 elves were exhausted after a day of training, but after seeing the energy cubes, they were immediately full of motivation and started to eat. Looking at the elves who were enjoying the energy cubes, Zhang Cheng walked into the bathroom and started to wash. After washing, Zhang Cheng urged the elves to rest early, because they had to get up early tomorrow to deal with the big rock snake. The elves were also very tired. After eating the energy cubes, they all found a place to sleep. The next morning, Zhang Cheng got up early to wash up, and then went to the breakfast shop in the town to have breakfast. After breakfast, Zhang Cheng returned to the hotel, put all the items for the training into his backpack, and then headed towards the Huangshan Mountains. Because he was familiar with the route yesterday, Zhang Cheng quickly arrived at the habitat of Rock Snake today according to the original route. What he needed to do now was to find Rock Snake. According to Zhang Cheng's understanding, Rock Snake usually lives in caves. With Rock Snake's huge body, the cave where it lives must be very huge. Based on this, Zhang Cheng began to look for a larger cave nearby. After a period of searching, Zhang Cheng found the cave where Rock Snake lived. The entrance of the cave was very huge and could be seen from a long distance. After finding the cave, Zhang Cheng did not hesitate too much and went in directly. The reward level in this area is generally between 10 and 15, so Zhang Cheng was not too afraid of this rock snake. After entering the cave, Zhang Cheng found that the entrance was just the tip of the iceberg of the entire cave. The cave is more than 30 meters high and at least 2,000 meters wide. It's a big cave like this. It seems that it's still difficult to find Onyx, Zhang Cheng murmured. Roar roar. Just as Zhang Cheng was thinking about how to find Onyx, a roar suddenly came from inside the cave. Along with the roar came a 4-meter-tall Onyx made of rocks. I was just thinking about how to find you, but you came to my door, Zhang Cheng said with a smile as he looked at the Onyx. But after thinking about it carefully, Zhang Cheng felt that the appearance of Onyx was reasonable. He was now intruding into its territory. Elves have a strong sense of protection for their territory. If they rashly intrude, they will be regarded as enemies. But Zhang Cheng was too lazy to care about so much. Today, no matter what, he must subdue this Onyx. Zhang Cheng opened the system and began to check the detailed data of this Onyx. Name, Onyx, level 17, gender, male, qualification, C attributes, rock, ground carrying props, none, basic skills, bind, hit, harden, Play with Mud, Curse, Rockfall, Rock Blockade, Anger learning skills, None inherited skills, Roll, Rock critical strike characteristics, Hard Head. Elves with this characteristic will not be harmed even if they use moves with reaction force. Notes: Onyx, a rock snake Pokémon, will cause a rumbling sound when digging underground, causing the ground to shake and move at a speed of 80 km per hour underground. After reading the data of this Onyx, Zhang Cheng felt that it was okay. As long as it was not above level 20, it would not be difficult to deal with. Mosquito Frog used the waterfall attack. Seeing Onyx appear, Zhang Cheng did not hesitate at all and took the lead in attacking. Yobo the frog condensed a large amount of water elements in its stomach, and after charging, it directly released a water column several times thicker than the water gun attack. Onyx saw the frog attack and hid behind a rock. The waterfall attack directly shattered the rock, and the remaining water column directly hit Onyx's tail. Roar! Onyx was in great pain after being attacked by the water skill. After a howl, it directly launched a rock blockade. 4 huge rocks appeared out of thin air above the frog's head and smashed towards the frog on the ground. Frog, hold on, Yobo. The frog used the hold skill it had mastered not long ago, and a transparent barrier appeared around the frog. The seemingly weak barrier easily resisted Onyx's attack. After failing to hit it, Onyx was very angry and rushed forward to launch an angry attack. After Zhang Cheng saw Onyx's moves, he chose to stop attacking. If attacked during the use of anger, the power of that skill will double. So Zhang Cheng planned to wait until Onyx's anger attack ended before continuing to attack. An anger attack that did not trigger the double damage did not have much effect. After the scorpion took Onyx's anger attack, it was only slightly injured. Now it's our turn to fight back. Scorpion pray for rain. Yobo the scorpion sent a large amount of water elements to the sky, directly forming a short rainy day inside the cave. As the scorpion's strength increased, the effect of the rain praying skill became more and more significant, and now the rainfall amount and range have been greatly improved. Chapter 97 Mission completed. The raindrops fell on Onyx's body, making it feel very uncomfortable. Onyx's defense is very strong, but its biggest weakness is that it is too afraid of water skills. Mosquito Frog, use waterfall climb again. Yobo with the blessing of rainy weather, the speed and power of Mosquito Tadpole skills are improved. Onyx had no time to react and was hit by Mosquito Baby's waterfall climbing skill, and was directly beaten into a seriously injured state. Although Onyx's level is very high, it has no power to resist under the attribute Restrained. Mosquito Frog, use the Eye of the Heart and then follow up with a Hypnosis. Zhang Cheng is ready to do the final finishing work. Although Onyx is now seriously injured, it still has a certain ability to resist. The best way to subdue this Onyx is to hypnotize it and then capture it. Onyx also saw that something was wrong and turned around to run out of the cave. But the heart eye of the frog had been used up, and then a series of hypnotic sound waves were emitted, directly hitting the Onyx that was about to escape. After being hit by the hypnosis, Onyx struggled briefly, and then fell into deep sleep. Seeing that the hypnosis took effect, Zhang Cheng directly threw out the Pokeball he had prepared in advance. The Pokeball accurately hit the sleeping Onyx, and a red light shot out, taking Onyx into it. Then the Pokeball fell to the ground and shook violently. 1, 2, 3 Onyx was successfully captured. After capturing Onyx, Zhang Cheng did not stay for too long and went directly back to Huangsha town. This Onyx was seriously injured, and Zhang Cheng planned to hand it over to the Alliance as soon as possible to complete the task, otherwise it would be a big loss if Onyx had any accidents. Zhang Cheng came to the task center, handed Onyx's Pokeball to the staff, and completed this task. After completing the task, Zhang Cheng received 250,000 Pokemon coins. This mission was completed relatively smoothly, mainly because the rewards here were all restrained by his own water-type elves, so it was much easier to complete the mission. After receiving the elf coin reward, Zhang Cheng found a restaurant at random to solve the lunch. In the afternoon, Zhang Cheng did not plan to continue to enter the Huangsha Mountains, but found an open space to guide the elves to practice their respective skills. Zhang Cheng began to check the information of the elves one by one. Name, Mosquito Frog, level 16, gender, male qualification, B+ attribute, water carrying props, none basic skills, playing with water, water gun, foam, hypnosis, continuous slap, praying for rain, tation crushing the top learning skills, thief, climbing waterfalls, guarding inherited skills, Eye of the Heart, reckless, foam-like characteristics, leisurely and free. When it rains or rains heavily, the speed will be greatly improved. Notes: Mosquito Frog, a tadpole Pokémon, has developed muscles and can move on land, but it moves faster in water. Mosquito Frog has mastered many skills, and currently mainly needs to practice climbing waterfalls and guarding skills. Later, Zhang Cheng plans to give it ice skills after the frog has mastered these skills, so that it can also have a good restraining effect on dragon-type elves. As Zhang Cheng's current main combat force, the frog still needs to have a wider range of attacks. Next is Pidgeot. Name: Pidgeot. Level 16. Gender: female. Qualification: B. Attributes: Gen Role. Flying carried items: none. Basic skills: impact, wind, sand, tornado, lightning flash. Learning skills: thief, guard, storm, feathered. Inherited skills: see-through, steel wings, brave bird. Attack, air blade. Features: sharp eyes. The height rate ability change will not be reduced by the opponent in any way, ignoring the target's dodge rate ability change improvement. Note: Pidgeot, the evolved form of Popo, will dive at high speed, using its sharp claws as weapons to catch small animals as food. Popo's gentle personality changes dramatically after evolution, so please be careful of its aggressive nature. Pidgeot's task is a bit more difficult. In addition to being familiar with the skills of Storm and Hold, it also needs to try to master Feather Roost. In addition, Zhang Cheng is also looking forward to Pidgeot using its inherited skill Brave Bird Attack as soon as possible. This is a great trick of the flying system and is very powerful. After understanding Pidgeot's situation, Zhang Cheng turned his head and looked at Melee Sheep. Name: Flash. Melee Sheep. Level 10. Gender: female. Qualification: A. Attribute: electricity. Carrying props: none. Basic skills: impact, call, electromagnetic wave, electric shock. Learning skills: 100,000 volts, hold. Inherited skills: electric field, iron tail, high speed movement, charging. Characteristics: static electricity. Using contact type moves to attack this elf will have a 30% chance of triggering the paralysis state. Note: Melee Sheep, a sheep Pokémon, has soft wool on its body that can store static electricity. It has a gentle personality and does not like fighting. Melee Sheep's level has also reached level 10 in the 2 days of battle. Now the focus is to practice your 100,000 volts and guard skills. The Thunder skill is not yet useful. After evolving into a woolly sheep, the combat power will be greatly improved, and you can fight as a competition Pokémon. Next is the last Waterleap Fish. Name: Waterleap Fish. Level 8. Gender: male. Qualification: A. Attribute: water. Carrying props: none. Basic skills: impact, shouting, water gun, mud throwing, see-through. Learning skills: none. Inherited skills: mirror reflection, mud bomb, double return, wide area defense. Characteristics: torrent. When the health value is at a low state, the torrent characteristic will be triggered, and the power of water attribute moves will be greatly improved. Notes: Waterleap Fish, a swamp fish Pokémon, has a very sensitive radar in its head. It can capture the surroundings from the flow of water or air without relying on eyes. Zhang Cheng currently has no plan to let Waterleap Fish learn new skills. Waterleap Fish has just begun to get familiar with the battle. Let it use the skills it has learned first, and then try to let it use the skill learning machine. After fully understanding the situation of all the Pokémons, Zhang Cheng began to guide the Pokémons in training. The main training content today is to familiarize yourself with the skills, practice the skills you just learned repeatedly, and then continuously improve them in battles with wild elves. Seeing the elves training in an orderly manner, Zhang Cheng came to sit aside, thinking about the subsequent training plan in his mind. First of all, the levels of the elves in his team cannot be too different, which will lead to gap in strength. At present, it is necessary to let the water jump fish and the sheep upgrade their levels first. And the mosquito-scented frog and the bird should be familiar with their skills first. After all, it is impossible for Zhang Cheng to command 4 elves to fight at the same time, so when arranging the water jump fish and the sheep to fight, it is just right for the mosquito-scented frog and the bird to train their skills. Chapter 98 Elf Fossils. The elves spent the whole afternoon practicing their skills. Seeing the elves becoming more and more proficient in their skills, Zhang Cheng was also gratified from the bottom of his heart, looking at these elves as if they were his own children. Near the evening, Zhang Cheng finished the elves' training for the day, took out the energy cubes he had prepared in advance, and handed them to each elf. The elves ate the energy cubes with big mouthfuls. After solving the elves' dinner, Zhang Cheng also found a restaurant, had a good meal, and then took the elves back to the hotel to rest. The next morning, Zhang Cheng had arrived at the Huangsha Mountains and started looking for battle targets with the elves. When encountering rewards with ground attributes, Zhang Cheng arranged for the water-leaping fish to fight. Occasionally, when encountering wild elves with a single rock attribute, he would let the melee sheep fight. In one morning, the water-leaping fish defeated several wild elves in succession. Seeing that the water-leaping fish was becoming more and more proficient in its skills, Zhang Cheng planned to go deeper in the afternoon to find elves with a slightly higher level for the water-leaping fish to fight. Now the Pokémons encountered in the outskirts of the Yellow Sand Mountains are all below level 10. With the attribute restrained, Waterleap Fish can easily win. For these reasons, Zhang Cheng planned to go deep into the Yellow Sand Mountains to increase the difficulty of Waterleap Fish's training. Zhang Cheng chose to go deep into the location where Onyx lived before. Because he had been here before, he was more familiar with the environment here, and it was the most appropriate to choose this route. Along the way, the level of wild Pokémons was obviously increasing. After arriving near Onyx's habitat, the level of Pokémons was generally around level 12 to 15. The level 8 Waterleap Fish still had a bit of difficulty facing the level 12 Pokémons, so Zhang Cheng specifically looked for wild Pokémons with 4 times the water restraint as the training target for Waterleap Fish. Pokémons with both rock and ground attributes are still relatively rare. Zhang Cheng searched for a while before finding a level 13 Geodude. After finding the target, Zhang Cheng did not say anything and directly ordered the Aqua to attack. Aqua, use your most powerful water gun attack. Dan. Aqua knew that the Geodude in front of him was very powerful and could not be taken lightly. After hearing the trainer's order, it immediately began to gather energy and sprayed a large amount of water from its mouth to attack Geodude. After Geodude was attacked by the water system, its health value quickly decreased. Looking at the Aqua in front of him, which was much weaker than himself, Geodude waved his fists, intending to teach this guy who liked to sneak attack a lesson. Geodude directly concentrated the energy on his fists, and then smashed it hard on the ground, using the new trick he had just learned, Magnitude. The Magnitude used by Geodude is a skill that depends on luck. If you are lucky, you can kill it instantly. Of course, if you are unlucky, it can only cause very slight damage. From the results, the luck of this Geodude was not very good. It only caused a slight shake on the ground, and Aqua did not suffer too much damage. Geodude was also very dissatisfied with the Magnitude he had just used, and raised his fist to try again. However, Zhang Cheng would not give it such a chance. What if he got lucky this time and used the highest Magnitude? Then he would be dead. Waterleap quickly used the water gun to attack. Dan, Waterleap once again used the water gun to attack. This time the power of the water gun was relatively weaker, but the speed of the water gun was faster. The main purpose was to interrupt Geodude's attack. The water gun hit Geodude's body and directly knocked it out, making a painful cry. Geodude finally realized at this time that he was no match for Waterleap. The opponent's skills were too damaging, and he was so thick-skinned that he could not resist it. After figuring it out, Geodude no longer hesitated and fled directly to the depths of the mountains. Seeing Geodude running away, Zhang Cheng commanded Waterleap to chase him. Although Geodude was seriously injured, he ran away without hesitation, and the distance between Waterleap and Geodude was getting farther and farther. Finally, Zhang Cheng had to let Shuaiyu stop chasing. Going deeper, the level of the elves is generally above level 15, which is still quite dangerous. The best choice now is to train in the middle and outer areas. The depths of the mountains are too dangerous, and it is best not to go in unless necessary. Just when Zhang Cheng was about to turn back, he suddenly found a cave on the stone wall on the right. The entrance of the cave was much smaller than the cave of the big rock snake he had met before. Zhang Cheng looked at this cave and couldn't think of what kind of elves habitat it was. Driven by curiosity, Zhang Cheng still led the elves into the cave. The inside of the cave was pitch black, and no light could be seen. Fortunately, mobile phones now have flashlight functions. Zhang Cheng turned on the flashlight and continued to walk deeper. The entire cave is only about 20 meters away, and it looks like it has reached the end. At the end of the cave, there is a stone platform, and on the stone platform there is an object similar to a statue. Zhang Cheng looked at this strange thing and couldn't figure it out for a while, so he simply turned on the detection function to check. As long as it is something related to elves, it is likely to be detected. Zhang Cheng turned on the system and scanned the item in front of him. A string of information appeared in his mind. Name, tentacle lily, branch fossil, gender, unknown qualification, unknown attributes, rock, grass carrying items, none basic skills, learning skills, inherited skills, features, unknown remarks, branch type Pokemon fossils. Detailed information can only be learned after resurrection. This statue-like thing turned out to be a Pokemon fossil. Pokemon resurrected through fossils are very rare. In Zhang Cheng's impression, the representative of fossil Pokemon is Scythe Helmet. He used to see Scythe Helmet in anime plots. After learning that this was a fossil of Tentacle Lily, Zhang Cheng also tried to take it away. The fossil of Tentacle Lily is not very big, but he doesn't know how heavy it is. In the face of an unknown fossil, Zhang Cheng didn't dare to act rashly. After a fierce ideological struggle, Zhang Cheng decided to let Frog go forward and try to take the fossil away. Hearing the trainer's instructions, Frog didn't think much and went forward to pick up the fossil of Tentacle Lily. Seeing that the Mosquito frog was doing fine, Zhang Cheng breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that there was no danger. After checking the situation in the cave again and confirming that there was no abnormality, Zhang Cheng led the elves out of the cave. Chapter 99 Our Organization. After getting the fossil, Zhang Cheng left the cave and prepared to send the Tentacle Lily fossil back to the hotel first. After all, it was not very convenient to carry it on the body. When Zhang Cheng came out of the cave, he suddenly met two middle-aged men. After seeing Zhang Cheng, the two middle-aged men also stopped and looked at the fossil in Zhang Cheng's hand. Boy, we found this Pokemon fossil first. Hand it over quickly, otherwise. One of the yellow-haired middle-aged men stretched out his hand and made a gesture of wiping his neck. Seeing that the two men in front of him were not friendly, Zhang Cheng was not sure about the other party's strength and did not choose to attack rashly. As a trainer, don't you know the rules of the Alliance? Aren't you afraid of being caught by the Alliance and imprisoned for doing such a thing? It is not allowed to use Pokemon to attack humans in the territory of China. If caught, the lightest sentence is life imprisonment, and the worst is to be shot directly. Haha, boy, haven't you heard of the R organization? We have done enough bad things to be shot dozens of times, not just this one time, the yellow-haired man said disdainfully. The R organization is a large transnational terrorist organization that mainly operates the Pokemon trafficking business. Recently, the media revealed that the R organization is wantonly capturing various elves for dark experiments. Hearing the yellow-haired man's words, Zhang Cheng has already reached out to touch the mother and child pendant on his neck. Meeting the R organization would be life-threatening. If the opponent is too strong, then you can only ask for help. I didn't expect that. I was so unlucky. I have only been out for a few days and I can encounter such terrorists. Zhang Cheng sighed helplessly in his heart. Third brother, why are you wasting time talking to him? Just fight and kill him quickly, another calm black-haired man said as he released his own Pokemon. Zubat, tear this kid into pieces for me, okay? Second brother, seeing this, the yellow-haired man also threw his Pokeball. Lobster Soldier, get the fossil back for me. Looking at the Pokemon released by the two people, Zhang Cheng first opened the attribute panel to check the information. Name, Zubat, level 17, gender, male qualification, D+ attributes, flying, poison items carried, none basic skills, absorb, ultrasonic, scare, bite, wing attack, strange light skills to learn, venom shock inherited skills, flash of lightning characteristics, mental power, by training the spirit. It will not shrink back because of the opponent's attack and will not be affected by the intimidate characteristic. Note, Zubat is a bat Pokemon that uses the ultrasonic waves it emits to fly, hides in dark caves and rarely comes out. This Zubat is only one level higher than Zhang Cheng's Frog and Pidgeot, and is not a big threat. After reading Zubat's information, Zhang Cheng was relieved and turned to look at another Lobster Soldier. Name, Lobster Soldier, level 14, gender, male qualification, D attribute, water carrying props, none basic skills, foam, harden, clamp, stare, foam ray learning skills, cross scissors inherited skills, water jet, metal claws characteristics, super strength claws, because it has claws that are proud of its strength. Its attack will not be reduced by the opponent. Notes, Lobster Soldier, a helpless Pokemon, once it has caught its prey with its big claws. It will not let go no matter what happens, and it is very energetic no matter where it is. After reading the data of Lobster Soldier, Zhang Cheng only wanted to say, "That's it, I thought I met the elite of the RR organization, but it turned out to be two cannon fodder scum. With your strength, you dare to come out and be a villain. Let me teach you a lesson today." Zhang Cheng directly ordered Frog and Pidgeot to attack. Frog, pray for rain. Pidgeot, use Tornado to attack Zubat. Zhang Cheng planned to find a way to get rid of the opponent's higher-level Zubat first. After defeating Zubat, the remaining Lobster Soldier would not be a big deal. Yobo Frog also knew that the opponent was not friendly. His eyes were full of fierceness. He quickly condensed water energy and turned the nearby area into a short rainy day. Beep beep. After Pidgeot evolved into Pidgeot, his personality also changed a lot. Now he has become very fierce and warlike. Pidgeot's wings are full of dragon energy, forming a dark purple energy whirlwind in front of him. The wings flapped out, and the whirlwind flew directly to the distant Zubat. Seeing that Zhang Cheng was the main force to launch an attack, the people of the RR organization also quickly launched a counterattack. Zubat, use your wings to attack. Lobster Soldier, use the cross scissors on the frog. Zubat turned its wings into sharp blades and slashed directly at the flying whirlwind, completely dissolving the whirlwind. The Lobster Soldier raised his big claws and rushed towards the frog. Looking at the Lobster Soldier rushing forward, the frog looked disdainful, as if he admired this guy's courage very much. The frog used its fast speed to launch a series of slap attacks before the Lobster Soldier could clamp itself. The continuous big slaps made the Lobster Soldier dizzy and kept retreating. The frog did a great job. Give it another rotation pressure. Zhang Cheng was also very happy to see the performance of the frog. Yobo, the frog used its own explosive power to jump directly into the air, and its entire body smashed directly on the Lobster Soldier. The Lobster Soldier was slapped several times first, and now he was hit by a mountain pressure, and was beaten half to death. Zubat, go help the Lobster Soldier. Seeing his companion Lobster Soldier being beaten, the black-haired man quickly ordered Zubat to rescue him. After hearing the trainer's order, Zubat used Lightning Flash, which is the fastest attack speed among all its skills. Zubat used Lightning Flash and directly knocked the frog back a few steps. Although it did not cause too much damage, it could rescue the Lobster Soldier. After Frog was beaten back, the Lobster Soldier also quickly fled to the back. It already had a shadow on Frog. Since you want to help the Lobster Soldier, then you stay here. Frog will use Hypnosis. Yobo Frog took advantage of its speed in the rain and quickly hypnotized Zubat. Zubat, who had just used Lightning Flash, was hit by Hypnosis before he could react. He fell to the ground and fell into a sleeping state. Pippi, use the storm you learned. Beep. Pippi has practiced for the past few days and has a high success rate in using the storm skill. With a blessing of rainy weather, the chance of success will be greatly increased. Pippi began to gather the flying abilities around it and tried to use the storm skill. Chapter 100, Elf Melee. A large amount of flying energy surged around Pidgeot. As the energy continued to accumulate, a huge storm slowly formed around Pidgeot. After the storm was successfully condensed, it directly hit the sleeping Zubat. The power of the storm was so terrifying that it directly beat Zubat all over its body and lost its ability to fight. Seeing that his Zubat was directly defeated, the black-haired man couldn't believe that his strongest Pokémon was defeated like this. Sandshrew, prepare for battle. The black-haired man took out his second Pokémon. He now regretted not releasing both Pokémon earlier. He thought it was a sure thing to deal with a young boy, but he didn't expect it to be overturned in the end. Old 3, release your other Pokémon too, and beat him together. The yellow-haired man nodded and said, okay, come out. Geodude. The two of them released a Pokémon each. Zhang Cheng checked the system and found that the levels of the two Pokémon were both level 12, and they were both rewards of rock and ground. Isn't this to give experience to Frog? Frog, use the waterfall attack. Yobo. Frog quickly condensed water energy, forming a thick water column, which directly hit the newly released Geodude. After being hit by the waterfall attack, Geodude was beaten all over, but he still did not fall down. This Geodude has the tough attribute, so it still retains the last bit of health. Old 3, let your Geodude use self-destruction quickly and destroy one of his Pokémon first. The black-haired man looked at the Geodude who was hit hard and chose the most ruthless method. The yellow-haired man looked at the situation in front of him and knew that Geodude had no fighting power. He could only squeeze out its last value. Geodude, use the self-destruction attack directly. Geodude was a little hesitant when he heard the order from his trainer, because the self-destruction would cause great damage to himself. In the previous battles, it had been forced to self-destruct many times, and did not want to experience that feeling again. Seeing the unmoved Geodude, the yellow-haired man shouted angrily, "Geodude, what are you doing? You self-destruct." Geodude shook his head firmly, indicating that he was unwilling to self-destruct. The yellow-haired man had no choice but to take out the Pokeball to take back Geodude, and then teach this disobedient guy a lesson later. It's really pathetic that even his own Pokemon is unwilling to listen to your command. Zhang Cheng sighed at the scene in front of him. "I think you are looking for death, Lobster Soldier. Go up and break his neck." The yellow-haired man was furious when he heard Zhang Cheng's words. "Mosquito Frog, come on, teach this Lobster Soldier a lesson." Sandrit, Poison Needle Attack. The black-haired man also commanded his Pokemon to fight. Mosquito Frog first quickly dodged the Poison Needle attack, then came in front of Lobster Soldier and used a series of slaps again. Lobster Soldier was beaten again and received several big slaps. Then the frog used the Waterfall attack, and the huge water flow directly knocked the Lobster Soldier to the rocks in the distance. Pidgeot used Steel Wings to attack Sandshrew. After getting rid of the Lobster Soldier, Zhang Cheng commanded Pidgeot to continue attacking. Frog also used the Bubble Beam to help Pidgeot. The skills of the two elves hit the Sandshrew at the same time. And the level 12 Sandshrew was beaten half to death and lost its combat ability. The 4 elves of the 2 people have all been solved. Seeing that their elves have lost their combat ability, the 2 members of the R organization took back their elves and prepared to escape. Zhang Cheng directly commanded Pidgeot to stop the 2 people. "What, are you planning to escape? Boy, don't go too far, our boss will be here soon. You are no match for him, don't regret it when the time comes." The 2 people brought up their boss, trying to intimidate Zhang Cheng. "Haha, it won't take a few minutes to deal with you two. You'd better go to the Alliance and have some tea." Mosquito Frog, go up and knock them out. Zhang Cheng planned to capture them and take them back to the Alliance for disposal. Yobo Yobo Mosquito Frog rubbed his fists while approaching the 2. Just as Mosquito Frog was about to take action, a barrier suddenly appeared in front of the 2. Behind the barrier, a dream-inducing taper appeared. Along with a dream-inducing taper, there was also a rough voice, "You can't take these 2 people away today, and you can't leave either, boss." The 2 heard this voice and were immediately ecstatic. They were saved. Zhang Cheng looked in the direction of the voice and saw a middle-aged man with a white beard walking slowly. Looking at the person, Zhang Cheng knew that he should also be a member of the R organization, and most likely the boss of the 2. "2 pieces of trash, you can't even deal with a young boy, and in the end I have to do it myself." Hearing the scolding of the white beard, the 2 lowered their heads and dared not speak. Zhang Cheng took advantage of the time when they were talking to check the information of this dream-inducing taper. Name, Dream-Inducing Taper, level 29, gender, female, qualification, B attribute, psychic, carrying props, when fruit. Basic skills, slap, immobilization, telekinesis, hypnosis, headbutt, poison gas, yoga pose, illusion ray. Learning skills, Dream Eater, guard, meditation. Inherited skills, psychic blade, flame fist. Role-playing characteristics, insomnia. Since it is a physique that cannot sleep, it will not enter a sleeping state. Note, dream-inducing taper, a hypnotic Pokemon, walks with something like a pendulum, and is good at using psychic tricks. Seeing the level of this dream-inducing taper, Zhang Cheng immediately put his hand on the mother-child pendant. This time there is really not much room for operation. The level gap is not small, and his own elves have just been through a battle and have consumed some physical strength. Moreover, this dream-inducing taper has the characteristic of insomnia, and Zhang Cheng's possibility of using hypnosis and reckless reversal is greatly reduced. Besides, the opponent couldn't have only one Pokemon, so he had no chance of winning. Thinking of this, Zhang Cheng reluctantly took out the letter pendant and prepared to smash it directly, asking Bai Yuling to come and save him. Just when Zhang Cheng was about to smash the letter pendant, another voice sounded, "Our organization, you are getting more and more arrogant, and you even blatantly attack trainers." Zhang Cheng listened to another voice and stopped crushing the letter pendant. "It seems that I am saved." The visitor was the official guard of the Alliance. The Alliance has arranged guards to be stationed in every area to prevent criminals from hunting Pokemon points and even attacking trainers. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.